Yo, what is good? Welcome, 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 welcome. How we doing? Hope your day has been good. It was a good day, honestly. Got to watch a movie on top of it all. Have you guys seen the men who stare at goats with Ewan McGregor and George Clooney? What's up, Sarah? Doing good. We're back to the year 9090. We went so far back, we went to the future. We went to the future, man. Have you seen the movie Antrim? No, I have not. What's that about? But yeah, Men That Stare at Goats. It was interesting because, like, it was this weird mix of, like, boring or something I would find boring as a kid. But the way that it was, like, sort of edited made it interesting. And then the topic itself was interesting as well. Like, the idea of, like, you know, implementing psychic abilities within the United States military and, like, remote viewing. Because it does sound like remote viewing was a thing, you know, that was relatively successful. And obviously is probably kept under wraps if there's still, you know, practical uses for it now, which I imagine there would be. Government psyop minister goes based on actual events. Yeah, you know, it says it's based on actual events. Obviously, there's some embellishment there with the movie, but I don't know. I found it very interesting. You're applying to nursing school. Wish you luck. Good luck, Brandon. Just stay focused and work hard. You'll get through it. Picked up my new doggo today. He's a cream-colored Chihuahua. Oh, that's cute. Gonna be a little sweetheart. I have strep for the first time in your life. Really? Okay, interesting. Wonder where that came from. Did you try the peptide you were looking for? I did try the BPC 157. I tried the oral capsules initially, which did help, but highly advised that you take that in the morning, because if you take it any time close to bedtime, you will have terrifying fucking night terrors. Yeah, by mouth. You might. There's another word for oral. By mouth or PO. But then eventually, like, I had made progress with my shoulder, but I eventually got some subcutaneous injections where it's like you inject it in your, like, belly. Kind of like insulin. And man, that really, really made a huge difference. Like, for real. For real, for real. Yeah, bye butt. Anal. Every pill I usually get is a suppository, just recreationally. David, thank you for the 2. Says hi, Joel. Hello, David. Hello, David. And Lost in the Mood, thank you for the gifter. 2, Kenzie. Cutaneous, same type. Yeah, so subcutaneous, so it's like in the belly fat. Intramuscular is, you know, thankfully you don't have to do that, but the belly fat's not too bad. It's a little pinch, but it's just like doing insulin if you have diabetes, or you know somebody who has it. And yeah, same peptide, BPC 157. Obviously talk to your doctor before doing it, but there are different, I guess, what do you call it, clinicians or physicians that are more likely to prescribe it. It can be a bit pricey, and like the couple $100 for like a 5-week thing, but if you have like little nagging injuries, like in my situation, my shoulder from bench press, my God, it's like that doesn't even exist anymore, you know. It's honestly crazy. It's like a miracle drug. And I've heard for anybody who has like irritable bowel syndrome or Crohn's disease, that the oral version is very helpful. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And Warning, welcome back for 26 months. 26, let's go. Let's freaking go, dude. Thank you so much for 26, over 2 years. What kind of animal is inside of me? I guess maybe just like a hamster crawling around in there somewhere. Like Mr. Slave. You have a Chihuahua and Doberman mix. He's the biggest asshole. That's funny. Isn't there like those mini Dobermans? Don't they have that? Isn't that like essentially what that would be? I spent all day at work catching up on old streams. Oh, nice. Okay. I hope they were enjoyable for you. I saw people commenting on the old stream asking about my more recent video. But dude, it was so stupid. It like, okay, so I posted that video on Monday of creepy coworkers, and it was doing so well, right? Very similar to the deep web, dark web video. And then out of nowhere by like midnight, I don't know if like somebody reported it or somebody like did a thing or whatever, or if it's just automated. It's hard to tell, but it got age restricted, which immediately means you're demonetized and that the video will not get recommended out to like new viewers, which means your video is like fucked, which means like essentially if it's your job, you don't make any money and you don't get any new subscribers or get views. And I was like, this is stupid. And then I looked up the part that it was like saying, it said like at 47:05 or some shit. You'll hear that in the previous video I have it like silenced. And it was the most pointless thing. It was like somebody calling, you know, they were calling about that priest who was going nuts. Remember the priest? And it was just calling, basically saying like, I think he's gonna, you know, hurt somebody or whatever, hurt himself. And it was like, somehow that got like marked as, I don't know, against TOS. And then I appealed it and instantaneously got denied. And I was like, this isn't right. Like, this is 100% incorrect assessment. So I just, you know, took the video down, edited it, that part, and then re-uploaded it, and we were Gucci, and we've been Gucci, thank God. You know, but it just pisses me off. Evelyn Ramirez, thank you for the 13 months. Says, hi, can I say hi to my best friend, or can you say hi to my best friend, Jess? We listen all the time, and she's probably listening to this at work tomorrow. Hello, Jess. You got a good friend in Evelyn. Thank you so much, Evelyn Ramirez, for 13 months. Appreciate you guys. Real quick, not trying to be a dick, but I've noticed you say as if though instead of as if or as though. Yeah, I don't know why I do that, honestly. I don't know where in my like developmental vernacular. I don't know in my like at what point I like say that. I really don't. But it just, maybe I picked it up from somebody growing up. But yeah, that's my Shakespearean addition to the world. And Majin Maui, thank you for the 10. Says, I love you, my dude. Me and Lindsay and my son DJ listen to you while we're going to bed. Can you say what's up to Lindsay and DJ? Hello, Lindsay. Hello, DJ. What up, family? How we doing? Thank you guys for listening as a team. And thank you for the 10. I gotta turn on my like orange, the Flux app, make everything orange, because I'm gonna burn my eyes up with glaucoma. Did you ever use Tumblr? No, I never did use. I used Tumblr to find, because I stumbled across the art for the channel, which I'm probably going to change here at some point, honestly, my PFP and the channel banner. But beyond that, I've never used Tumblr. I guess I just never, nobody in my circles ever said like, you got to check out Tumblr, you know, and it was never really necessary for YouTube, so I went into a coma for the Glock. Epstein list is being doctored by whoever is holding it. Interesting. I've always been curious about that. It's like the Epstein list got kind of blacklisted, so you never really got to hear that. And then the whole Diddy, like all the associates of Diddy are kind of like more present than like the Epstein stuff, but I feel like that's kind of getting stonewalled as well, so nobody's really gonna hear about like the celebrities that kind of went to these freak-offs. Did you end up looking up Kowloon Walled City? Did we look that up last time? Walled City. It's like a... You said it was a creepypasta or something like that? Looks crazy. Is this like a fictional place or real? But I guess I did not look that up. LeBron James was a maid. That'd be so funny. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I mean, I did see that he like had that video of nothing, no party like a Diddy party, you know, which is, you know, a wee bit strange. It was a real place in Beijing, I think it was. Yeah, that's crazy. It's so strange sometimes whenever like we're supposed to like take, I don't know, countries like China seriously as like a threat when it's like half of their, like I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there's never half the like crazy shit in America as there is when you look at like China or Russia. I guess you don't really see too much about Iran as far as life, how life is there. I honestly don't know shit about like modern day Iran. Let's listen to some Talk To It and see Pookie. What's she up to? She posted new content. My sweetheart. Talk To It. One day ago, introducing Pookie. Let's go, dude.
Do you want to make
We've asked for it. Let's take a quick listen.
$50,000 on the biggest fight of the year?
I do not know. Oh yeah, when's the Jake Paul fight? That's pretty soon, right? Like 2 days. Okay, girl talk, claiming her man.
I was not expecting that.
I don't think I was expecting it.
Yep, me neither. Pookie's initial reaction to Hawk Tua.
Y'all kind of look alike. Y'all can pass for like brother and sister, I think.
But we are
second cousins.
Well, I mean, that don't mean anything though.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, that makes sense. Don't mean nothing down in Alabama. Is Pookie jealous of all the celebrity attention?
I mean, it did throw me off at one point when he...
Alright. Let's get out of here. Omar. Thank you for the 14 months. This live stream is perfect time. And tomorrow's my brother's funeral. Could use a distraction. I'm very sorry to hear that, Omar. That's really, really sad to hear, but hopefully we can take you away. Oh wow, she had JoJo Siwa on. You know that's got to be absolute freaking fire, dude. There's a... Wait, really? LeBron in a maid outfit? There's no way. Holy shit, what the fudge? Ain't no party like a Diddy party. Wow. Why was he wearing that? I mean, it's funny just by itself. Holy shit, what the fuck? There's a couple photos. That's a bit concerning. Dude, he's caked up, bro. What the hell? Yikers. The community is not going to be happy about this. Lovely T. Welcome back for 21 months. Cheers to 21 months. Love you, Joel. Thank you, lovely. Good to see you. I feel like it's been a while. What's crapping? Thanks for updating the video. Sounds like YouTube just being stupid again. Yeah, sometimes it just seems like their TOS is like super, super strict, but like really inconsistent is the unfortunate part. And my fear was just like, I don't know, somebody was trolling, you know, and I really don't think that would be very good. Because obviously, I don't know, I feel like someone could maliciously use that system to, and I don't want that kind of stuff to happen to really anybody. And honestly, my channel is like a very popular podcast. Like it never has issues within the podcasting space. I really do believe that YouTube should be more lenient when it comes to like the content that they feel comfortable with. Because I mean, the advertisers do. Like it's just, I don't know. Trying so hard to like please everyone just ends up causing more issues. Sarah, thank you for the 8 months. It's just saying hi. Hope you and Pradeep are doing great. Thank you, Sarah. We're doing goodsies here. Pradeep is curled up in a little shrimp ball over there. Do I like any bread tubers? Not really. I don't really lean that way in the political spectrum. I might have when I was like real young, like getting into like politics and stuff, but I'm relatively not a fan of any of those concepts, to be honest with you, at this point. And there's something about like the manner in which most of the bread tubers like hold conversations with people. It's like always very, very condescending. You know what I mean? Like they always think that they just like have some sort of strange, I don't know, some sort of moral high ground on everybody they speak to. And they tend to think that their shit doesn't stink without really any sense of like self-reflection. And I find those character traits relatively frustrating and usually don't agree with any of their like takes. What's a bread tuber? It's just like very, very left-leaning political commentators. Like there's Vaush, and I wouldn't really necessarily call Destiny a bread tuber per se, but he does lean pretty far left. And then there's Hassan. And yeah, you know, it is what it is. I don't agree with them, and I don't really care, you know, beyond that. Thoughts on Dane Cook? Dane was funny, dude. Dane was the shit back in the day, you know what I mean? When he got that one gig where he was like the first like arena style stand-up comedian where he was like superstar. And then in a very similar way to what's his name? Yeah, fucking Nickelback. Yeah, sorry. I always compared like Dane Cook's fall off to a very similar thing to like Nickelback. Like it was cool to like Nickelback till it just like abruptly wasn't. And it was cool to like Dane Cook, and everybody appreciated Dane Cook. And oftentimes the way people emulate their mannerisms based on popular memes and YouTubers and all that kind of stuff. Now, people back when in my day were emulating their mannerisms based off of like Dane Cook, you know. So really, if you want to blame anybody for like millennial humor, like lol, random, you know, you might as well blame Dane Cook because he had a pretty strong effect on people. The fact that your podcast is not on the Spotify podcast charts is an outrage. You know, sometimes it does well, but I get it from like Podbean or something like that. Like Podbean says them in their like top 100 things. So, but the podcast is doing well and it's continuing to grow, which is nice. All right, guys, we got the good stuff here today. Little missing 411 action. Which honestly, we're like definitely running out of missing 411 concepts. Joel seems like such a sweetie. Wait, did someone say something? I don't see it pop up. I don't know. It just is what it is, man. I don't really think if it has to do with politics, it's just not worth your energy, like getting upset with people whenever they don't align perfectly with you pertaining to like something as out of your hands most of the time as modern politic, you know, and especially whenever it doesn't even really pertain to the context in which you like enjoy their stuff, you know. You listen to the Creepcast? Oh yeah, that's with Wendigoon and Papa Meat, right? You know, I haven't actually seen it. I should watch it just to check it out. They always have some fun takes on stuff. Kite with the 5 says, been listening to you for years now. Haven't been here for a live stream for like at least 4 years. 2 though between my trader school and actual school. That's crazy. 4 years. If Joel becomes a serial killer to make for more stories. I thought about it. I'm like, I need content. I got to put myself out there. And before you get sued by David Politis. Yeah, he seems to mean, I don't know. I think we have his blessing at this point, honestly. And we're always kind to reference people to the origins of the stories. And I will be honest with you, the only thing that we share as far as content goes is just the name and idea, and everything else is like independently researched. So, I don't really think, objectively speaking, I'm stepping on any toes other than the fact that this is just a popular topic, you know what I mean? Would you stream on Big O Live app? I never heard of it. What is that? Did you make that up? Oh, Dane Cook's brother stole like $10 million from him. I did hear that. Didn't he like sue him and get it back? Which is so sad. I don't even know. Just imagine, like, I feel like there's no one that can hurt you quite like your family. You know what I mean? Big as another streaming app. I've heard of like Kick, and I've heard of obviously Twitch and things like that. Am I human? I don't know, honestly. I might just be a voice stuck in here. You went missing at Six Flags. Hell yeah, dude. This is the best place to go missing. With all their Looney Tune lore. Joel, seriously, why the Wendigo? I don't know. Robin made it. I don't even know if it's a Wendigo. It's just a beautiful centerpiece for our meal. Seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet? I did, yes. I did actually get to see it, and it was a fun little fourth wall breaker silly fest that I honestly wish more superhero movies would do. Just be fun, Be fun, be gory, be violent. Granted, I understand that's not always going to appeal to the PG-13 accessibility, but I don't know. I've had about all I can really take from like serious superhero movies.
Mischievous dog.
And Peter, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the Butter Sock Cult. I thought you were already in it, Peter, unless it's the first time. Good to see you. What's happening, dude? What if Joel starts stalking his subscribers and you find out he's there? He starts telling you stories, so you're frozen with fear, but also caught in the suspense of the story. Exactly. You're gonna have to make a choice. You either receive content or you become the content. The weirdest names I've seen. I don't know, dude. Probably Mr. Borges. Favorite scene from that movie? I definitely like that little disgusting dog. And I like the happy Deadpool one. He was nice. I like the idea of that woman, the way she used her psychic powers to kind of like dig into people's minds. It's something that I wish I had those abilities. Though she was like really, really skinny. Did you notice that about her? I was like, she seemed unhealthily skinny. I feel like maybe she should eat some meat. You've been a member for 8 months. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I don't know. It's so inconsistent sometimes. All right. Let's go, dudes. Scale 1 to 10. I would definitely give it like a 6. You know what I mean? It accomplished its job, but I've seen superhero movies before. I've seen a Deadpool type movie before. I wasn't like shitting my pants laughing. I wasn't feeling like a sense of catharsis while watching it or really any sort of degree of novelty. It was more just like sort of a sense of relief of like, okay, I watched it. Now nobody can bother me about it anymore. Oh, Juggernaut's half-sister. Interesting. Also, it was insane, too, that, like, the girl from the Wolverine movie was, like, a full-on adult now. And I was like, holy shit, is that how much time has passed? That, like, somebody who was, like, a kid in one movie is now, like, able to vote. You know what I mean? It's just crazy how fast the years go by. Same with, you know what I mean? It's, like, stuff like that. Like, remember at the beginning of 2016 when there was, like, Barron Trump, and he was just like this little quiet boy in the background or whatever, and now he's a fucking like 6'9" cave troll. Not putting him down or anything like that, but it's just crazy to think like you're like, whoa, I forgot that sometimes people do grow up and time does go by. What's up, Jade? What's up, Misty? All right. On the morning of June 25th, 1983, the Marshall family woke up bright and early and made their way towards Montana's Elkhorn Mountains. Kim Marshall, a member of the Capital City Radio Club, had been invited to attend a ham radio operators picnic in Helena National Forest, which covers around 1 million acres of west central Montana. It was a fine Saturday morning with a clear blue summer sky, and accompanying Kim that day was his 4-year-old stepdaughter, Nylene. Okay, I gotta make sure I say this right. Kim Marshall, a member of this. Okay, so Kim is a guy. Do you know about King Von the Healer? Wasn't that like a Vine person, or a person who was famous on Vine for a while, King Von? Making a spinach quiche. Interesting. Spinach quiche. Is that like a pie made out of spinach? Oops, what am I doing? My bad. My brain's a little turned off right now. A little distracted. Okay, we gotta just ask ChatGPT hits. I don't know how you guys think that this might be pronounced. I assume it's just Nylene. How to say Nylene. King Von was an extremely dangerous gang member who became a rapper and killed a lot of people in the streets. Not a healer, I was just playing. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I don't... I mean, was that in the UK? Because that sounds like a UK, what do they call it? Like drill rap type stuff, you know, and that kind of thing. Basically, mainly with eggs and pie crust with cheese and spinach. That does sound good. Especially holding it together with, like, the eggs. Give it the good protein and all that kind of stuff. I wonder what you could put on top of it to kind of, like, make it more flavorful if it does lack any of that. Oh, it was in the US. Okay. UK grime. King Bon's from Chicago. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I've been not keeping up with, like, I mean, I do hear hip-hop from time to time, but man, like, keeping up with music like I used to, it just, like, passes right by me. Misty, welcome to the Butter Sock Cult. You now have access to bonus content. How old am I? I'm 34. 34. Also part of King Von's set. JK. J Kizzle. Okay, how do you say this? Like sky and green. Okay, Nylene. What's up, Laura? It was a fine Saturday morning with a clear blue summer sky, and accompanying Kim that day was his 4-year-old stepdaughter, Nylene. Nylene K. Marshall was only a few months shy of her 5th birthday, and despite being a child of divorce, was a happy and well-adjusted preschooler. Only Kim and Nylene were set on attending the operators' picnic that morning, but upon their arrival, Nylene spotted several other children playing along a shallow watercourse known as Moppin Creek. I gotta make sure I say that right. Fucking hell. What's up, Laura? Moppin Creek. Moppin, okay. 48 next month. How are you feeling? Have you found any secrets to longevity or life, or what brings you joy most in your existence, or your time on Earth? Only Kim and Nylene were set on attending the operators' picnic that morning, but upon their arrival, Nylene spotted several other children playing along a shallow watercourse known as Moppin Creek. Nylene told her stepfather she wished to play with the other children, but unwilling to let his daughter play unsupervised, Kim declined. Moments later, A 13-year-old girl approached a hesitant Kim and proposed that she keep an eye on Nylene while he greeted his fellow radio enthusiasts. The teenager claimed that they had been catching frogs and offered to teach Nylene how to do the same. Kim thanked the girl, told Nylene to go with her, and then headed off to meet with friends. He was under the impression that the teenage girl would keep a vigilant watch over his young stepdaughter. But he was wrong. Upon returning to Maupin Creek, Kim found the 13-year-old girl who was supposed to have been watching Nylene, only to be told that she had gone missing. The girl told Nylene to stay by the creek, to focus on catching frogs and tadpoles and not to wander off, but it appears the little girl had taken no heed to this. What started as casual concern soon snowballed into abject panic, and as Kim began calling out his stepdaughter's name, more and more of the picnic's attendees joined the search for 4-year-old Nylene. Kim Marshall was horrified by his stepdaughter's sudden disappearance, but that horror only deepened when he became aware of the surrounding terrain. Maupin Creek was surrounded on all sides by dense forests, steep rocky cliffs, and deep, dark mine shafts that extended for miles underground. Fatal hazards awaited Nylene in all directions, causing the intensity of the search effort to ramp up dramatically. But when Kim asked a group of girls if they'd seen little Nylene, the answer they gave was enough to send Kim into a full-blown panic attack. According to the girls, little Nylene had been spotted talking to an unfamiliar man in a purple jogging suit. One of them later told police that the man had been asking them to play what he called the shadow game, whereby the children would follow his shadow wherever he went. The older children had been thoroughly indoctrinated on the dangers of strangers, refused the strange man's request. The older children having been. Pish posh. What's up, Melanie? How we doing? Joel, this is the longest you've gone without making a mistake. That's true. Oh, never mind. Which means I owe you guys a bit of a treat. A little treat coming your way. Send it off. Send it to all the good ones. Computer, give this to the good people. Thank you. Just kidding.
Mischievous dog.
Welcome, Sagittarius, Lila W, Godzilla's Nuts,
Mischievous dog.
Cool Hand Loca, and Tatop. You guys now have access to bonus content.
Mischievous dog.
Where are there always random strange men on hiking trails? I don't know.
Mischievous
Maybe it was
dog.
a bear in a purple jogging suit. You never know.
Mischievous dog.
Mischievous frog. Honestly, I sometimes don't know if you actually have to, like, be here in the chat to receive a gift. Like, sometimes I think people get it, like, outside of the stream. What's up, Pauly D? How we doing? Oh, but yeah, I went to the gym today. Can you guys believe that? Doing that kind of shit. And I've been trying to, like, get my squat back up. Like, all my other numbers have been climbing, but for some reason my squat has not wanted to, like, cooperate with me. I haven't necessarily failed on my, like, progressions, but I had to do, like, 3 sets of 5 today climbing, and the final one was at, like, 435. And I don't know what the hell it is, but there's just, like, something that, like, doesn't feel like my body's, like, fully warmed up or, like, activated by the time that I get to that, like, heavier weight. And I'm trying to find, like, some degree of, like, nervous system stimulation that would make me feel comfortable hitting that, like, heavier weight for 5. And my curiosity is if, like, maybe I put, like, a plate on it so I can walk it out and then walk it back in, take the plate off, and then do the 5. Maybe that would do it. Wart. Scared of hurting your joints. My joints feel pretty good. I mean, and I stay on top of everything and consume a decent protein and omega-3 based diet, I guess. Went to the gym too, and then went to school, then went to the mall and got a new sweatshirt at Aerie for 60% off. Hell yeah, dude. We always love a good deal. Need to get back to the gym. You should, Terry. Just find like a simple program and just give it a whirl. Get back into it. I haven't been to the gym, but I definitely have been to the kitchen. I feel you. Feel you on that. And Susie, thank you for the 250. Appreciate you. Get back to reading. I'm trying, dude. I get distracted so sneezily. There was someone who commented something. I need to like look it up. They were so mad at me. Let's see. It was funny. It was funny but cringe, I guess, because it was just like, why did that make you so emotional? Let's see. Maybe they deleted it once I click like heart on their comment. But they were just like, this is the first live stream I've ever been to. Oh yeah, here it is actually. This is my first live stream and it is brutal. All capitals, exclamation marks. I will never subject myself to another. An absolute horror show. From Pamela. I don't know. Didn't have a good time, I guess. But it's just crazy like how excessively dramatic everybody is on the internet. Like what is... Like, you know it's a live stream. Like what is... Maybe it's because I mentioned like whale semen or something like that, and that just sent her over the fucking cliff, brother. Sarah R., a lady with the 5, says, whatever happened to doing push-ups during the stream? We got past 30. I need to lose like 15 and tone up. Gotta look into fasting. And calorie counting. But, yeah, you know, I don't know. I think it was because I was doing so much shit at the gym at the time that I was like, I don't know if I can, like, squeak out a bunch of random push-ups. I forget how we even, like, oriented push-ups in the past, to be honest with you. Just saying, hey, good to see you. Rub beard directly on the mic. You sent me a shmee-mail? Heck yeah. I really, honestly, that's like my goal right now is like, I really want to like figure out how to compile talent, right? Pay them the necessary amount to accomplish a task and I think the hardest thing with like creative types is like keeping them motivated to continue to do work for you. I don't quite know what it is, but some creative types like don't really, like money doesn't necessarily motivate them. But that being said, I think it would be so sweet to make a freaking indie game or just something cool. The Plank days. Yeah, I guess we could get back into it. I forget where, like at what point or when. Oh, it's because we did the mistake counter or something. I don't even remember. What am I wearing? I'm actually wearing jeans right now. I still have my clothes on from the day. 22nd B-Day coming up. What global disaster should I commit? Maybe just open up the ozone layer with a stinky fart. Stinky beer and Chinese food fart. Just wanted to tell you I love the gaming streams. Your commentary is gold. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate that. Yeah, I had fun with those. I was honestly going to do it last Saturday, but I like couldn't think of a game to play, and just like it was getting later and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know if I can play a game for like 6 hours right now. But Susie, thank you for the 250. I could listen to you talk 24/7. See, I appreciate that. Kat, love you too. Good to see you. Working out in overalls, bad idea. I mean, if you can make it work. You should dump your ashes at Disneyland. Dude, that'd be so funny if they like go out of their way to like vacuum it up. It's like Minnie Mouse comes over and like vacuums up your like loved one's family ashes, and they're just like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. The older children, having been thoroughly indoctrinated on the dangers of strangers, refused the strange man's request. Yet little Nylene had not been so cynical. After filing a missing persons report, Montana search and rescue teams mounted a large-scale search effort which spanned almost 1,000 square miles. At its height, and in addition to the dozens of paid professionals, probably professionals, right? Professionals. Man, that's so sad, honestly. Like, I mean, obviously it's sad, but like, sometimes when you just like think about what a nightmare experience that must be, where you just like, you see a kid, you know, as a dad, like I think dads are sometimes like way more trusting of some girl to like take care of their kid for whatever reason. They're just like, they see a 13-year-old girl and they're like, oh sure, yeah, you can babysit all of my kids with complete trust, you know what I mean? And I guess I didn't see what year this took place, but it might have been even more different in the culture there as well. And just, you know, you're like, yeah, I'll be back. And then you come back and they're like, they got taken. I don't really know what happened. They got stolen. What? What the fuck? What's up, D? What's up, Daphne? And hello from the Philippines. Been listening for 8 years, graduated high school and college with this channel. That's crazy. Congratulations on graduating. Freaking sweet. But thank you for sticking with the channel. What's up, Crime Girl? You ever had a super entitled individual in live chat? Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes people just be a wee bit rude. Yeah, Raymond's the entitled one. The most entitled. But he's earned it. Raymond has earned every ounce of entitlement. He is entitled to compensation. You get a tattoo of this channel, Joe? Really? Joe, if you... That is so sick. If you have email or if you have like Instagram, tag me on like your story on Instagram or something. Because like someone else got a tattoo of this channel, but it was like related to like it was a heart one, Valentine's Day like design, and that was years and years ago. And I remember someone saying like, oh bro, someone getting a tattoo of your channel is like, you made it, you know. And so yeah, please do tag me so I can see it. That'd be really cool. I'll share it. You're gonna do another creepy landlords video? Yeah, hopefully at some point. I tried to tag you on Instagram with my level I made for you, but not sure if it gets you. Huh, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it gets like filtered, I guess. I don't know. Do you do a P.O. box? You know, I don't. No, I'm just terrified of getting a bag of dog shit covered in glitter. At its height, and in addition, you got Tyson or Paul. Honestly, I really want to see Tyson like just like explode his head into like a sort of a mist. At its height, and in addition to the dozens of paid professionals, the search for 4-year-old Nylene boasted nearly 3,000 civilian volunteers. Helicopter search teams scoured the area from aerial vantage points, utilizing heat-seeking technology in the hopes of pinpointing Nylene's location. Specialist canine teams were brought in to scour mine shafts, ravines, and watercourses, including that of Maupin Creek, where Nylene had been playing prior to her sudden disappearance. It said that one dog, who traced the banks of the creek after detecting Nylene's scent, came to an abrupt halt, and to many, this suggested something deeply chilling. That little Nylene had been suddenly and violently snatched from the ground before being carried off into the woods. Fearing foul play, the search and rescue teams ramped up their search efforts, scouring the surrounding hills and woodland for any sign of the missing girl. Yet just 5 days in, the region's weather took a severe turn for the worse, and officials had the search suspended until safe conditions returned. Many of the civilian volunteers carried on in the absence of professionals, braving severe weather patterns in the hopes of bringing Nylene home. Yet sadly, on the 10th day of the search, the effort's most senior official called time on the search. Volunteers were outraged that search and rescue personnel could simply pack up and walk away, especially when there was every indication that little Nylene was still out there somewhere, lost and afraid. But standard search and rescue operating procedure often states that if you haven't found a warm body within 7 to 10 days, you're looking for a cold one. Oops. Dude, I'm getting like a whiff of pizza for some reason. Someone cooking pizza. I can smell it. You never comment. It's okay. Glad you're just chilling. Private investigators would be good. Also, I do have like a quick, I might even share it in the chat and just pin it. But I have a quick link to Being Scared. He's doing an independent film with his team that's about 60% done. And the first one was on their Chilling app, which is actually, it was really, really good as far as production quality goes. This one's a sequel that they're actually trying to get into theaters. Make sure this link works first. Trying to get it into theaters, but they just needed some support. Not saying you guys need to support, but if it's something you want to check out and kind of keep an eye on, it is called Gale, Yellow Brick Road, and it's sort of like a modern take, I think, on Dorothy and the Yellow Brick Road, what's it called? Wonderland? Am I dumb? Oz, yeah, Return to Oz and that kind of thing, but it's like horror oriented. So there's gonna be like a really quick trailer at the beginning of this video to promote that. Should be sweet. You're making pizza rolls. I must have smelled that. But standard search and rescue operating procedure often states that if you haven't found a warm body within 7 to 10 days, you're looking for a cold one. I got kids of my own, said one civilian volunteer, who had tears in his eyes when he spoke to reporters. I feel for the mom. What's happened here is terrible. Just terrible. Over the months that followed, Nylene's face was displayed. Hey, Duchess, what's up? Over the months that followed, Nylene's face was displayed on billboards, milk cartons, and shopping bags. The number of an anonymous tip line was listed on all such postings, prompting tips to stream. The number of an anonymous tip line was listed on all such postings, prompting tips to stream in from all over the world. Sadly, none of these tips proved fruitful, and even fewer seemed genuine, but just over 2 years after Nylene's disappearance, one such phone call would cause shockwaves among the law enforcement community. On November 27th of 1985, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children received an anonymous phone call from a man who made a terrifyingly shocking claim. The caller claimed to know for certain that Nylene had been abducted, and he knew this because he had been the one to take her. Authorities were exasperated. The man seemed to possess intimate knowledge of Nylene's disappearance, but it wasn't clear if he was genuine or was playing a very elaborate and cruel prank on those still searching for little Nylene. 2 months later, the man mailed a typewritten letter to Is that a Child Find of America or Child Finders? Andrew with the 5 says, didn't the Return of Oz movie in the 80s already do that? Not saying that Gale didn't look cool, but not entirely original. I don't know. Was that one horror-oriented or not? Child Find of America. Okay, yeah, that's... Okay, good to know. But thank you for the 5. What's up, Mel? I will promote it on my Facebook and see if any of the old horror scene people are into it. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm sure Being Scared... It's Being Scared in conjunction with, like, an indie filmmaker he's working with, as well as, you know, the Chilling app. I'm sure they'll be very, very happy to get any support or promotion as they can. And it would be sick to get it into theaters and not just into streaming. I mean, that would be a huge, huge accomplishment. Sarah R. Lady with the 2 says this is sequel to the Gale one from... I do believe so. I do believe so. Which is interesting because in my mind I'm like, would it make sense to go from that one and then the sequel is the one in theaters? But at the same time, you know, it's not my project, so I'm not one to say really. But it would be sick regardless, whatever occurs. But thank you, Sarah. Two months later, the man mailed a typewritten letter to Child Find of America, a non-profit organization that focuses on bringing home missing children. In the letter, the man repeated his claim that he'd abducted Nylene, but referred to her only by the name Kay. Authorities were still unsure that the man's claims were genuine, at least until they read one particular paragraph included in his letter, which included several investigative details which had not been made public. The letter's author was privy to things that non-law enforcement personnel would not have access to, said a Dane County detective, Kevin Hughes. After that, we had no choice but to consider his claims genuine and treat him as our prime suspect. The letter's author also claimed they had, and I quote, a nice invested income. This implied his passive income allowed him to live a mostly hermetic. What's up, Rachel? How we doing? You be farting, Hannah? That's good. Let it loose. If it stays in, it means probably imminent death internally. This implied his passive income allowed him to live a mostly hermetic lifestyle, by which he could dedicate himself to his lifelong passion, kidnapping children before raising them as his own. The anonymous kidnapper, whose letters were postmarked from Madison, Wisconsin, then made the audacious, right? Audacious. Would you rather be in public with peed pants or poopy pants? Probably peed pants, yeah. I guess they wouldn't be able to see your poop most of the time, but man, that, like, getting behind someone who smells like shit is so embarrassing. Like today at the gym, I was talking to somebody and then I smelled that somebody else had farted, and the whole time in my head I'm like, Jesus Christ, they're gonna think I fucking farted and it was me, who has no shame and just lets it rip at any given moment. I'm not that brave though. There's some people I know who just like have no qualms like farting in public and just, you know, gassing out some like 70-year-old woman in a grocery store or whatever it might be, but I think it's quite rude and honestly probably a danger to their health. Asserting dominance, yeah. I just shit right at my squat rack so no one can get in there, and if they do, they'll slip on the doo-doo. The anonymous kidnapper, whose letters were postmarked from Wadison, Jesus Christ. Hey, Kayla. The anonymous kidnapper, whose letters were postmarked from Madison, Wisconsin, then made the audacious... Dude, I like totally... How do I forget how to... Audacious. Dude, I know that word, but audacious just sounds kind of cool. Susie, thank you for the 250. Appreciate you. Yabba dabba dingleberry. The anonymous kidnapper, whose letters were postmarked from Madison, Wisconsin, then made the audacious claim that he enjoyed taking his victims on vacation. Apparently, after arranging a fake passport for his young abductee, they traveled all over the United States together, as well as to Canada and even the United Kingdom. He said he knew that Kay's family missed her, that he was aware he'd brought them great pain, but in any event, he could not let Kay go. She was his property now. Just months later, Child Find of America received 2 more letters as well as an anonymous phone call, all from the same anonymous suspect that claimed to have abducted Nylene. His previous communications had been shocking, but these new ones chilled the blood of even the most hardened detective as they made the sickening claim that little Nylene was being abused. Tim Campbell, a detective with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department, later spoke with the press regarding what he'd seen, heard, and read. The suspect said that he was taking good care of Nylene, or Kay, whatever he was calling her, but then during the same phone call or letter, he'd made reference to things that we considered to be serious abuse. The FBI traced the calls to several phone booths, including one near a pharmacy in Edgerton. Is it Edgerton? Edgar. Oh, Edgar. Edgerton? Wait. Edgerton? Is it Edgerton, Wisconsin? Anybody familiar? How to say like the word edge pronounced. Okay, Edgerton. Yo, Cody. You need to start doing books on tape. I know, just not sure if I got the motivation or time, to be honest with you. Would you rather be stuck in an elevator with a farter or someone breaking up with a significant other? Honestly, maybe the breaking up with a significant other just for entertainment purposes. I feel like I've smelled enough farts to kind of get the idea there. Watch the last episode of The Penguin. I haven't seen The Penguin, but I heard it's good. So cringe. Yeah, I guess it would be cringe. I still remember like being at this sort of like cabin retreat. It was this like skiing place, and I can't ski or snowboard or anything like that, but I just went along, and I just remember me and my friends going out to this like hot tub to just chill. And there was like this younger couple in there, and at one point the girl got out and like said, like prior to us even getting there, being like angry, and then like the dude says something like, "But doll face," and like I thought he said "but dolphin" because it just like flowed together with his like flumps coming out of his mouth, but he said doll face, and I was like, holy shit. Like unironically calling your significant other doll face is like the funniest shit ever, and especially like calling out after them, "But doll face, what?" It was really cool. The Penguin show is so good, and how it ended to flow into Batman movie. Oh, cool. You have a tramp stamp tattoo that says "Let's Read" in calligraphy. See, we got all these tattoos lined up, guys. Everyone's got to get one. Did we bully them? I think it was way too cold. We were too chilly. We had to jump in the hot tub. Otherwise, I would have spanked both of them. Andrew Batts with the 2 says, I heard, "Butt doll." Yeah, butt doll. Butt doll face. Butt doll face. The FBI traced the several... Fuck. The FBI traced the calls to several phone booths, including one near a pharmacy in Edgerton, Wisconsin. Damn it. Okay. The FBI traced the calls to several phone booths, including one near a pharmacy in Edgerton, Wisconsin. Yet the calls abruptly stopped after the phone booths were located and police began analyzing them for any potential forensic evidence. 5 years later, with the search for Nylene still ongoing, the national syndicated TV show Unsolved Mysteries aired a segment on the missing girl. Somehow, the show's producers managed to obtain copies of the anonymous letters and aired excerpts of them on national TV, and they read as follows. Excerpt 1. I didn't want their person to try to get information from her. All I could tell them was that she was okay, and I hope that Child Find can get the following back to her family. I picked up Kay up on the road in Elkhorn Park. Wait. Fuck. They abbreviated Elkhorn and I'm confuzzled. Is it Elkhorn? Elkhorn Mountains. Oh, is it Elkhorn Peak or Elkhorn? Let's ask ChatGPT. Would Elkhorn PK be peak or park? Question mark. Obama. Have you guys watched the new show, Obama? I'll be getting a piercing about, let's read, a bunch of dermals spelling out on the forehead. Yeah, that'd be perfect. Alright, so Elkhorn PK could stand for Elkhorn Peak or Elkhorn Park, but in most contexts, especially related to geographic locations, PK usually stands for peak. I guess that makes sense because it's Elkhorn Mountains or whatever. Joel, what was the last frivolous thing you've purchased? Frivolous. Frivolous. I did buy Pradeep a little ball that like moves around really sporadically and has a tail on the end that he can chase. But honestly, he was like more scared of it than he was interested. I don't even know. I guess the last frivolous thing I got was that Legend of Zelda game, to play that, because I just wanted something to kind of get lost in. But then I like almost beat Ganon on the first go about, and then I started the normal quest, and then I just kind of lost interest. And I do hope to get back to it, but I just not really vibing with it right now. There are no mountains in Wisconsin. I think the call came from Wisconsin, but she got abducted in Montana, in the Elkhorn Mountains, which then would be then here. I picked up Kay on the road to Elkhorn Peak. Okay, so yeah, that would probably Peak, yep. Do I continue my game in your email? It'd be a great game to watch you play. It's about a 30-minute game, first-person view. Yeah, how does it launch and stuff? Is it through something else, or is it on like Steam or something? Breath of the Wild is the first Zelda game I played. Don't like how when Ganon... What is it? Don't like how when Ganon... Oh, dies. Oh, yeah, you can't continue. I mean, yeah, if I could have figured out how to, like, reflect shots, honestly, I think I could have beat him on that first go. But I was so confused on where I was supposed to be that I just ended up fighting him. You have to get your hands and knees and show pretty how it's time. Yeah. There's 2 R's. A deep purr. What's up, Gail? Definitely will do that. Thank you. I picked Kay up on the road in the Elk... Was it? Picked up on the road in Elkhorn Peak. Okay. I picked Kay up on the road in Elkhorn Peak. Oh, god damn it. Should have just like wrote out the fucking two letters. Up on the road in the Elkhorn Peak area between Helena and Boulder. Okay, sorry. I picked Kay up on the road in the Elkhorn Peak area between Helena and Boulder. She was crying and frightened as... Damn. My brain is not working right now. Fuck me. Oh yeah, Sam, you watching those? Do you have any good horror suggestions? Maybe like single player stuff, indie games. I picked Kay up on the road in the Elkhorn Peak area between Helena and Boulder. She was crying and frightened, and as I held her, she was shaking, and I decided that I would keep her and love her, and I took her home with me. I have a nice investment income, and I can work from home, so I care for her myself all the time. I teach her at home, and she likes to go with me when I travel. Her hair is short and curly now, and she has really grown. She's about 45 inches and around 50 pounds. She has all 4 of her permanent upper and 2 of her lower incisors at this time, and she takes a bath and brushes her teeth every day. She eats well. Her favorite meal is pizza and cherry. Excerpt 2. She would gladly recount. Jensen, welcome back for 53 months. Thank you, buddy. Good to see you. Does 401 even exist anymore? The concept does, at least as far as missing people in like national forests go. Excerpt 2. She would gladly recount to you trips to San Francisco, New York, Oklahoma City, New Orleans, Nashville, Chicago, Puerto Rico, or Canada. We were even in Britain for a month last year, and she loved it. Nobody questions passports. Excerpt 3. It is, or where it comes from. Wait, what? It is, or where it comes from. Sick only. That I get it from the bathroom every morning. What's up, Vashti? How we doing? I do actually. It's called Crowded Followed. It's a cool 90s VHS filter. Okay. Crowded Followed. Crowded Followed. On Stim. Oh yeah, it looks pretty creepy. I will pin that so I don't forget. Thank you. Spent all day in my apartment alone. Thanks for being here. You're welcome. Is there a reason that you stayed in there alone? Excerpt 3. It is, or where it comes from. Sick, only that I get it from the bathroom every morning. It is actually a spoonful of my... Oh, shit. It says semen. I don't know if I can say that. I don't know, I'm so like gun shy now when it comes to like saying stuff. Actually, a spoonful of... What would even be another word for that? Synonym for semen. Jesus Christ, dude. So fucked. Yeah. So sad, man. People are so fucked in the head. Oops. Okay, seed, I guess. It is, or where it comes from. Sick, only that I get it from the bathroom every morning. It's actually a spoonful of my seed. It doesn't affect her physically. I have never touched her in any other way. She is a sweet little girl, and it's because of how much I have grown to love her that I realize how much her family must miss her. But she is adjusted and seems happy. She trusts me and isn't afraid. We play a lot and she laughs when we clown around, and she smiles and acts coy when I tease her. I love her, and I have her. I just can't let her go. In conjunction with the FBI, Unsolved Mysteries, they were able to confirm that Brogert, Jesus Christ. The keyboard's too loud to be real. Yeah, I'm making it with my mouth. Typing in. In conjunction with the FBI and Unsolved Mysteries, they were able to confirm that all letters and phone calls received came from the same man. Initially, the veracity of the man's claims of travel was severely in doubt, as it made very little sense for a kidnapper to risk discovery and arrest. But suddenly, the multiple sightings of Nylene, which originated from all over the country, made perfect sense. If her kidnapper was indeed audacious, enough to travel with her, then each and every sighting could have been perfectly genuine. If he is in fact traveling, the show's host said, that would account for the sightings from one coast to another coast. The show's producers hoped the episode's airing would force a break in the case, and they didn't have to wait long. In August of 1991, just months after the Unsolved Mysteries episode aired, a 42-year-old Montana man named Richard James Wilson turned himself into police and made a shocking claim. He claimed to have abducted, tortured, and murdered little Nylene Marshall, along with at least one other unnamed woman. Richard Wilson had a history of mental illness and made the confession after violating parole for a previous conviction of assault against a minor. This obviously made him a prime suspect in Nylene's disappearance, and at first, police were elated at the idea of having finally closed the case. But on further questioning, Wilson's answers were found wanting. The police took him to an area east of Clancy where Wilson's claimed to have disposed of Nylene's body. He claimed he tossed it down a mine shaft, but when asked to locate the specific place of disposal, Wilson appeared completely incapable. Not only did he lack knowledge of the surrounding terrain, but the mine shaft he claimed to have used looked nothing like the description given in his confession. Law enforcement scoured the mine shaft anyways, simply to eliminate it as a site of potential corpse disposal. Yet their suspicions were confirmed when the shaft was discovered to be derelict and empty. The Jefferson County Sheriff Tom Don told journalists that Wilson's confession had to be, quote, taken with a grain of salt. He spoke of Wilson's using a typewriter like a manual printer for a young, yeah, I'm like point. Let me just edit this real quick. I gotta put a little white out on the paper and let it dry. Is this the perspective of the kidnapper? It was some letters that he had sent in to the crime show Watch, but now it appears that we're getting to the point where the person who was getting off on the idea of, I think they were getting off to the idea of posing as the kidnapper of the person and had a plausible enough story that it might be real, but I think we're about to find out that the person was actually lying about actually kidnapping them because they don't seem to be able to produce a body or anything like that. He spoke of Wilson's mental illness, as well as his penchant for tall tales, before sharing news of his release due to lack of evidence. In 1995, after living in Japan for several years, the Marshall family relocated to Mexico. Kim, Nylene's stepfather, had received a job transfer. So while he stayed behind in Japan with the children, Nylene's mother, Nancy, flew to Mexico City during the summer of '95 to look for potential houses. However, it was during this trip to Mexico that the Marshalls suffered another unexpected tragedy. One morning, a housekeeper at Nancy's hotel noticed it had been a few days since anyone cleaned her room. She asked the hotel's manager to force open the door so they could perform a welfare check. What they found inside was heartbreaking. Nancy Marshall was dead. Although a Mexican coroner declared... God damn it. Hey Taj, what's up? How we doing? Welcome, welcome. Can you do the unsolved mystery of Cotton Eye Joe? Where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did he come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Think of the term derelict. Derelict. Nancy Marshall was dead. Although a Mexican coroner declared that Nancy died of natural causes, her husband and other family members were convinced that she was murdered. Kim hired a private investigator who flew down to Mexico City and conducted a thorough investigation of the events and circumstances surrounding his wife's demise. What they discovered was shocking. The Mexican coroner, who Nancy's autopsy had declared that the exact causes of death were indeterminable. Oh, that didn't sound right. What's up, Rex? How we doing? Guys, anything new going on? What's new in the world? The Mexican coroner who'd Nancy's... Who'd... I feel like that sounds so weird. I feel like who did would make more sense. I get it's like a combination of the two, but it just sounds so odd. Sound like the singer from 311. Whoa, amber is the color of your energy. Whoa, chains of gold displayed naturally. You wanna know what brings me here? Whoa, then to fatten to fear, and I know. I love that song. The Mexican coroner who did Nancy's autopsy had declared that the exact causes of death were indeterminable. Kim's private investigator discovered quite the opposite. Nancy had been found bound and gagged in her hotel room while photographs showed her corpse to be a patchwork of cuts and contusions. Her wedding ring had been stolen, along with several other items of value, and there were signs that the lock on the door to her hotel room had been violently forced open. Following Kim Marshall's indignant appeals, Mexican authorities later changed the status of Nancy's case from undetermined to under investigation. He then demanded they investigate Nancy's death as a possible homicide, at least until the U.S. State Department stepped in to lend their counsel, and Kim found himself with an almost impossible choice to make. If he continued pressuring the Mexican government to pursue his wife's killers, there's a chance her body might never be released from their custody. But if he gave up and allowed Nancy's murder to remain unsolved, her body could be released for a funeral and burial. Kim thought long and hard about it, and then just a few weeks later, Nancy Marshall's body was returned to the United States and was buried in the state of Texas following a short but heart-rending eulogy from her husband. Around the same time Nancy was being laid to rest, a nurse at a New Orleans hospital claimed to have spotted Nylene whilst on the job. She recalled how a young woman calling herself Helena had arrived at the hospital while in labor. She arrived in the company of a much older man and at first appeared strained but in high spirits. However, in private, she made a very shocking confession. The young woman told nurses that she believed that her mother's name was Nylene and that she grew up in a different county and remembered very little of her childhood. When the man returned, nurses asked him for more information about the woman's identity and medical history. He made a series of rather suspicious excuses and then forcibly removed his much younger female companion from the nurse's care and departed the hospital with her. Naturally, the hospital staff were severely perturbed by the interaction and prompted local law enforcement to investigate. The frightened young woman was tracked down to Oklahoma. Severely perturbed. The frightened young woman was tracked down to Oklahoma City, where police asked her to submit a DNA sample. This DNA sample was cross-referenced with one of Nylene's biological father. The DNA sample was cross-referenced with one... Okay. The DNA sample was cross-referenced with one of Nylene's biological father, but there was no discernible match between the two. More than 20 years later, sometime in 2018, the Find Nylene Marshall Facebook page claimed that the businesses all over Wisconsin had received handwritten letters in relation to Nylene's disappearance. A post on the group's page stated the letters were postmarked from Cincinnati, Ohio, with no return address, and were being investigated by law enforcement. My gut tells me she's deceased, Jefferson County Sheriff Craig Doolittle told Mountain News? Mountain. Hey Christina, what's up? Welcome. And LK, good to see you. My gut tells me she's deceased. Jefferson County Sheriff Craig Doolittle. Fucking hell, that was a lot of words at once. My gut tells me she's deceased. Jefferson County Sheriff Craig... Jesus Christ, why does that sound so weird? Jefferson County Sheriff Craig Doolittle. My gut tells me she's deceased, Jefferson County Sheriff Craig Doolittle told Mountain News back in 2017. Sheriff Doolittle saw law enforcement had returned many times to the site where Nylene vanished, but nothing significant has ever been found, and not one piece of evidence was ever recovered. Recently, the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children issued an age-progressed photo of Nylene showing her at 43 years old. Decades after her disappearance, authorities still receive calls with tips. Nylene remains widely discussed on crime sleuth websites and forums. And for investigators, the case is still open. Doolittle says the issue is something that they have yet to put away. Many pray Nylene is out there alive and well, and according to the letters and phone calls, there's very high probability that's true. There will always be hope. No one should stop searching for her. She may be living here. There will always be hope. No one should stop searching for her. She may be living her life as Kay, not remembering her past or that she was abducted. In which case, all we can hope for is that Nylene, or Kay, is enjoying some degree of peace. Miss DE with the 279 Canadian says, do you like the color periwinkle? I like the name. I don't quite remember the coloration. Is it like a purple? I have to turn off my flux for a second. I do like this color. But it's strange because, I've seen it. And yeah, I've always kind of described it as like an indigo, but I guess, or like a blue. It looks very, honestly, it's weird. As I'm staring at it, thinking of it as blue is like changing it to blue in my eyes. But thinking of it more as purple is changing it to like more purple, which is kind of like a weird trick of the lids. It's so strange. I'm sure there's fluctuations between the flower. Is the flower called periwinkle? Because honestly, I'm looking at some of them, and some of them are purple, some of them are blue. That's interesting. Let's read. This seems like a book. ASMR, very nice. Thanks, dude. Good to see you. Whoa. Purple as a color is purple blue to me. Yeah, isn't that violet though? Wouldn't you call that like violet? Or is it like a light violet? It's funny, my keyboard actually used to be even louder prior to this. Or maybe it didn't. I remember I used to have like a, oh yeah, lilac. Yeah. That's what it looks like. Lilac. Well, lilac almost looks like a... Well, let me turn off my thing again. Actually, yeah, some lilac kind of has that... But lilac is almost like more of a... Oh, or lavender. Some mix between lavender and lilac, yeah. Claire Connolly, welcome back for 27 months as periwinkle. As if a blueberry sharded. That is all. It's true. That's the vibe that I'm getting. It'd be nice if like more flowers were edible. You know what I mean? They look so pretty that it's kind of a shame that you can't eat them. Whoa, breaking news, guys. Oh. Breaking news, breaking news. Alright, whatever. News is stupid. Do you know that lavender keeps mosquitoes away but invites spiders? Really? Do spiders like the lavender? Yeah, the mauve. I remember in Hey Arnold there was like the Mauve Avenger. God, there was like some kid who drove in that show that like drove the Mauve Avenger car, and he was like such a nerd that I was always like cheering for him to get beat up on the show. Let's see who it was. No, his name wasn't Harold, was it? The Mauve Storm. Oh, yeah. Oh, the Mauve Storm. First appears after Eugene. Yeah, the kid Eugene. Holy crap. Good God, man. He needed to be picked up and wedgied until his butt cheek split in half. He has 4 butt cheeks. The keyboard's not real. I don't remember you guys ever talking about the keyboard before, but now you're really locking in on it. You like it, don't you? ASMR. I could honestly do some keyboard ASMR if you want. We could type whatever you guys want me to type. Who's the person that came up with the idea of having a nickname? I know, I don't know. I feel like it must have been the transition phase between like back before they had names for each other. Like back then it was like man who eats his own shit, and then they came up with like Jonathan, and they're like, I don't know, man, shitty eater or shit eater John kind of like flows a little better and makes more sense because there's 2 Johns now. Types the words to a horror novel. Sam, have you ever, well, anybody really, have you guys ever played House of the Dead? There was a game similar to House of the Dead, but it was like typing. So you had to like type the words to like shoot the monsters before they attacked you. It's actually pretty fun. And I feel like if you're trying to like, if you're into horror, but also like want to learn how to like type under pressure, that's pretty good. That actually would be kind of a sweet challenge. I could actually see that being a game. Or you have a famous book, right? And you have to see how fast somebody can make it through the book as far as typing goes without making a mistake. That to me would actually be just as impressive as like the people who memorize, like, remember, the people who memorize the number pi, they try to memorize like how far they can go, and there's like a record for that. I could see someone like choosing like a book like, I don't even know, Lord of the Rings or some shit, and then just trying to see how far they can type into it without messing up. Strip poker via keyboard. On with your Discord mod. Hey Finksy, what's up? Tell the story of your missing brother. I don't think I know that one. There'll always be hope. Where did your brother go missing? Alright, so that was story 1 of 3. Missing 5 years. Yeah, did you submit the story? Because I would not know it unless you submitted it, but even if you did, I wouldn't probably have not seen it with how many submissions I get, etc., etc. But I'm sorry that your brother's missing. Your uncle went missing for 10 years, really? Did he? And he came back? Uncles always find their way home. It's built in them. It's built in them to know when dinner is 10 years later. Hawkman. Hawktua. I came up with nicknames by learning how to pronounce names but actually mispronouncing. Mother became mom or ma or moon. Dad just became daddy. Jason became Jay or Jay. That's true. Swiss city of Basel, Bruno Manser. Alright. Shit. Swiss German. Basel. Bruno Manser's. Bruno. Ah, what's up? It's me, Bruno. Have you guys ever seen Bruno? One of the funniest. Manser. Basel. Swiss city of Basel. Wait, did I say that right? Basel. Basel. All right. Born on August 25th of 1954 in the Swiss... That was actually hard to say for some reason. Born on August 25th of 1954 in the Swiss city of Basel, Bruno Manser's childhood was one of high hopes and great privilege. He grew up in a wealthy family and was a bright, free-thinking boy. Yet despite his parents' expectations of a career in medicine, young Bruno chose a different path. At age 19, Bruno was sentenced to 3 months in prison after refusing to partake in Switzerland's compulsory military service. Inspired by the non-violence of Mahatma Gandhi, he relished in his status as a political prisoner, and upon leaving prison, he wished only to live a simple and contented existence. From 1973 to 1983, he worked as a shepherd in the Swiss Alps, busying himself with handicrafts, herbology, and speleology. Study of caves. Oh, that's cool. The study of caves. Manser. Speleology. Okay. From 1973 to 1983, he worked as a shepherd in the Swiss Alps, busying himself with the handicrafts. Mother effer. From 1973 to 1983, he worked as a shepherd in the Swiss Alps, busying himself with handicrafts, herbology, and speleology, which is the study of caves and the root of the worst word in the English language, spelunking. He learned how to make, bake, and lay his own bricks. He carved leather, kept bees, and even made his own clothes by weaving the wool of the sheep he tended. And for a long time this was enough to keep Bruno happy. But around the age of 30, he developed a deep and unshakable wanderlust. In 1984, Bruno visited the Malaysian state of Terengganu. New word, what, spelunking? Spelunking? Spelunking is a great word. Terengganu. Okay. Gunung Mulu National Park. I gotta probably say that one right, Probably, huh? Probably gotta know my stuff. Gunung Mulu. Okay. Terengganu. In 1984, Bruno visited the Malaysian state of Terengganu, where he joined an expedition to explore Gunung Mulu National Park, and it was here that he first learned of a nomadic tribe known as the Penan. Bruno later said that well, of course, the last fucking word was something I was not freaking prepared for. But if I got it right, I'll be so stoked, dude, so freaking stoked. Penan. Penan? Fuck, I have no idea if that's right or not. Penan. Whatever. Ophelia, what's up? Bruno later said he intended to find the deep essence of humanity from people who are still living close to their nature, and he set off in search of the tribe, but after a gastronomic encounter with an unripe palm heart, he found only food poisoning. Undeterred by his initial setbacks, he followed many subsequent attempts. Bruno finally found the Penan nomadic tribes near the... Damn it, man. Undeterred by his initial setbacks and following many subsequent attempts. Okay, fuck me. Weirdest nights of your life? What happened? Undeterred by his initial setbacks and following many subsequent attempts, Bruno finally found the Penan nomadic tribes near the headwaters of the Limbang River in May of 1984. At first, the Penan people simply ignored him, being far too cautious of the crazy orang Penan. Oh, they actually have it. Orang Putih. Hey Kitsune, what's up? How we doing? My neighbor thinks I'm doing and saying things I didn't do or say because it's a fake account. Oh, messaging them or something like that on Facebook or something. Somebody impersonating you. That's weird. Orang Putih. At first, the Painan people simply ignored him, being far too cautious of the crazy Urang Puti, or white person, to approach him. After a while, the Painan found themselves impressed with Bruno's resilience, and after proving he had no ill intentions, they eventually accepted him into their villages. During his time with the Painan, Bruno mastered all manners of jungle survival skills. He familiarized himself with Painan culture, learned their language, and he was even accepted into the court of the Painan tribal leader, Chief Along Sega. Bruno wore a loincloth while hunting with the tribe's warriors, using a blowgun and poison darts to bring down birds, primates, and even snakes when other sources of protein became scarce. Back in Switzerland, Bruno was mocked with the nickname Tarzan, with many saying that he'd finally gone and lost his mind. But among the Painan, he was known by the name Lucky Painan. Lucky Painan simply means Painan man, but make no mistake, this was the highest compliment they could have possibly bestowed upon him, having all but officially inducted him into the tribe. He'd survived malaria, a near-deadly snakebite, and had survived a mountain fall by hanging from a rope for just less than 24 hours. And it's quite clear that Bruno could handle himself in the jungle. But that makes what happened to him next all the more confounding. By the year 2000, Bruno had been taking prolonged trips into the rainforests of Southeast Asia for more than 15 years. He'd been heavily involved in anti-deforestation activism in the region, but had sadly made many enemies in the process. Logging firms hated him, those in need of cheap timber hated him, and due to his very vocal accusations of corruption, Malaysian politicians sought to ban him from entering their country. Bruno was forced to turn his sights onto Indonesia, and in February of the year 2000, he found himself on the jungle paths of Kalimantan. Yeah, Bruno does sound pretty badass. Hanging from a rope for... What did it say? 24 hours? Did he know that he could also climb that rope if he wanted to? That's like another feature they recently added in like a patch. Kalimantan. Bruno was forced to turn his sights onto Indonesia, and in February of the year 2000, he found himself on the jungle paths of Kalimantan, Indonesia. Bruno was accompanied by a film crew from his foundation, the Bruno Manser Fund, as well as the organization's secretary, John Kuensley. We'll see how this goes. Fucking crap. Doesn't exist. No! Okay. Pronounce this. Quensley. Okay, Quensley. Ku sounds like Quen with a short E. Queen. Inslee can very slightly often pronounce like Zli or Tzi. Quensley. Okay. So if he reads anything more than horror, I could, but how do I submit stories to be read? Let's read submissions at gmail.com would be preferred, or my Let's Read official subreddit. It's up to you. Bruno was accompanied by a film crew from his foundation, the Bruno Manser Fund, as well as the organization's secretary, John Quensley. There he split off from Quensley and the film crew and continued on his journey with another unarmed companion. The trip continued for 2 weeks, crossing mountains and rivers on foot and by boat, with only reprieve being a few hours' sleep in a canvas hammock. On May 18th, Bruno reached the Sarawak On May 18th, Bruno reached the Sarawak-Kalimantan border, and he is I should probably quickly say the first one. Sarawak. Sarawak, okay, yeah. Submitted yours over Gmail. Awesome. Trying to figure out why dogs drag their butt across the carpet and cats don't. The world may never know. I don't know. I almost feel like I've seen a cat do that, but it might be made up in my mind. Imagine like a really fat cat doing that. But don't dogs do it because they have like worms or some shit in their asshole crawling around in there? On May 18th, Bruno reached the Sarawak-Kalimantan border, and he and his companion spent one final night there, with Bruno writing a brief message on a postcard to his girlfriend, Charlotte, who'd remained back in Switzerland. After making him swear he'd see it delivered, Bruno gave the postcard to his companion, who later said that he seemed perfectly happy and healthy as they'd parted ways. And then after that, Bruno walked off into the jungle, alone. According to John Quensley, Bruno crossed the Sarawak-Kalimantan border on May 22nd, and he was then sighted by a Penan friend, a man called Pelu. I gotta make sure I say that right. Hey, Claire Connolly, welcome. Or thanks for the 5. Says, as men, would you wear a loincloth and shave somehow, or go naked with all the hair wild? I ask because of the bug and heat situation. I don't know, I guess if it's part of their culture, like a loincloth would make the most sense, and it might also protect against some stuff, I guess. I definitely feel like, I don't know, I feel like I would feel more comfortable if like the loincloth could somehow wrap around under the ass to create a bit of like a, you know, like sumo wrestler diaper situation. I definitely would feel pretty comfortable with like one of those. Or even if they had a diaper on hand, then I could shit in it. That would be nice. They could change it. That'd be so funny if you like went to like some tribe in the middle of nowhere and you were just dressed as like a really big baby with like a binky in your mouth and like a big stinky diaper and like, you know, acted like a huge baby. Wee, wee. But then, them being confused and never having seen such a large baby before, maybe they would revere you as some type of sent from the gods type situation and actually have to clean your diaper. This is someone's fantasy. Certainly not mine, by any means, I promise. He was sighted by a Penan man, a friend called Palu. Paliu. All right. He was then sighted by a Penan friend, a man called Paliu, on May 25th. Paliu said Bruno was carrying a 30-kilogram backpack and was headed in the direction of a mountain named Bukit Batu Lawi. Bruno told Paliu that he intended to climb the mountain, but when asked if he wanted company or assistance, Bruno declined. Paliu wished him luck, and then bid him Paliu. Hey Carly, what is good? Paliu wished him luck, and then bid him farewell. But little did he know, it was the last time anyone would see Bruno alive. After failing to return to the Foundation's campsite in the allotted time frame, John... I don't remember how to say this guy's name. Fucking hell. Quensley. That's right. Quensley. All the single ladies. All the single ladies. All the single gays. After failing to return to the Foundation's campsite in a lot of time, John Quensley, okay. What's up, Bingy Snow. After failing to return to the Foundation's campsite in the allotted time frame, John Quinsley and the camera crew enlisted the help of the Painan tribesmen in finding him. They scoured the regions surrounding the Limbang River and even tracked down Bruno's final campsite before his attempt to climb Batu Lawi. They followed Bruno's machete cuts into the thick forest until the trail reached the swamp at the foot of Bukit Batu Lawi, but frustratingly, there was no trace of him in the swamp, going back from the swamp, or a trace of anyone else coming into the area. Bruno's Foundation paid for a search and rescue helicopter, as well as a mountaineering team to circle the limestone pinnacles of the mountain. However, citing the extreme danger of doing so, none of the mountaineers were willing to scale the last 100 meters of steep limestone to... Sarah Jane with the 2 says, "Good morning, just woke up at 5:30 a.m. here in the UK. Good morning to you, Sarah Jane. How are you feeling this beautiful sunrise?" What's up, Bunny? Do women shave in the winter? I don't know. I guess maybe if they're like swimmers. Don't swimmers... Or no, don't swimmers, like swimming team, actually like train with their body unshaved, and then whenever they go to competition they shave and they feel like they're real like slick in the water and shit, like there's no drag? You wouldn't want pubic hair in the pool. Oh, that's guaranteed. It's popping out. However, citing the extreme danger of doing so, none of the mountaineers were willing to scale the last 100 meters of steep limestone that formed the peak of Batu Lawi. Following their descent, the mountaineers concluded that if Bruno had attempted to scale the limestone peaks, there was a high probability he'd suffered some kind of tragic accident. And with that in mind, they made a second journey up Batu Lawi, concentrating around the places Bruno might have landed should he have taken a nasty fall. Yet mysteriously, not a single scrape of Bruno's body, equipment, or clothing could be found. The mountaineers enlisted the help of 2 very experienced local guides and asked them to opine on where Bruno's body might have gotten to. They spent days searching various nooks and crannies, but after once again finding nothing, the local guides were majorly perplexed. In their opinion, if Bruno wasn't in the spots they predicted, then they had to rule out a mountaineering accident as the cause of his disappearance. If Bruno had climbed the mountain, he must have made it down alive. There were simply no other explanations for why he was no longer there, at least no rational ones anyway. Upon being informed, Bruno went to be with the gods. The baby god. The baby diaper god. They still make Nair. Yeah, that seems like it'd be very scary to use. Upon being informed of Bruno's disappearance, his girlfriend Charlotte got in touch with the Foundation with a crucial development. In the final postcard that he wrote to her, the one posted prior to his mountain climb, Bruno had complained of both diarrhea and a broken rib. He also complained of suffering serious fatigue, yet appeared resolute in his desire to accomplish something he neglected to detail in the postcard. Bruno appeared to be searching for something that had driven him into the jungles of Indonesia, alone. But what if the object of Bruno's search had been the very thing that caused others to search for him in turn? And as the search grew more desperate, Bruno's distraught companions enlisted the help of psychics, fortune-tellers, and even tribal necromancers. In some cases, their exact predictions differed dramatically, yet all agreed on one thing. Wait, predications. I said predictions, my bad. What's up, Nicole? Fusing into your mattress, as you should. Become one with it. Let it consume you. In some cases, their exact predications differed dramatically, yet all agreed on one thing. Bruno was alive. Emboldened by their consultant's supposedly supernatural foresight, Bruno's foundation requested that the Swiss Federal Department of Foreign Affairs open up a formal inquiry into his disappearance. They agreed, and yet another search party wandered into the jungle in the hopes of bringing Bruno home. But once again, and despite vast amounts of money and man-hours being poured into the search, their efforts were fruitless, and they returned empty-handed. In November of 2001, Bruno awarded the In November 2001, Bruno awarded the International Society for Human Rights Prize for Switzerland. Was awarded prize. Okay, yeah. Hey, stranger, how we doing? In November of 2001, Bruno was awarded the International Society for Human Rights Prize for Switzerland. It was an award that would have meant a great deal to a man who dedicated his life to indigenous rights. Yet just months later, he was awarded what he might have considered to be an even greater prize. In January of 2002, hundreds of Pinan tribesmen gathered to perform a funeral ceremony known as a tawai. There, they paid tribute to the missing Bruno Manser. Bruno. Okay, how you say tawai? Tawai. Okay, sweet. Alright. Painan tribesman funeral. Okay. Manser. Asil, what's up, dude? Manser. There, they paid tribute to the missing... Bruno Manser, celebrating both his life and his courage before bidding his eternal spirit farewell. Tribal chieftains referred to him as Laki Tawang, or the one who has become lost, as speaking the names of the recently deceased is a great taboo in Painan. As speaking the names of the recently deceased is a great taboo in Painan culture. After subsequently... Man, I'm just so dunzer. What the freak? Googling stuff. I have to get the pronunciation right. If I say it wrong, it'd be worse than getting it all done in one go. Tribal chieftains referred to him as Laki Tawang, or the one who became lost, as speaking the names of the recently deceased is a great taboo in Painan culture. After subsequent expeditions failed to uncover any trace of Bruno, a civil court in Basel's... Fuck. Your quiche's done? Hell yeah, dude. Hope you have some for the class. Baselstadt. Just just came from blacking out. It was terrifying, but I'm back. Hey, welcome back, Alex. I suggest never drinking again, but that's just me. After subsequent expeditions failed to uncover any trace of Bruno, a civil court in Basel-Stadt declared him legally dead on March 10th of 2005. 5 years later, and to mark the 10th anniversary of his disappearance, a memorial... Damn, sometimes I just blend the words together. Your video is the only thing that helped me sleep, thank you. I'm saying this at 5:45 a.m. and I've not been asleep yet. Well, Haley, hopefully you can get some shut-eye here soon. Sleep is the key to success. So thank you for listening. What's up, teacup? What's poppin'? "5 years later, to mark the 10th anniversary of his disappearance, a memorial service was held for him in Basel, Elizabethan. Basel's Elizabethan. Oh, man. 5 years later, and to mark the 10th anniversary of his disappearance, a memorial service was held for him in Basel's Elizabethan church. Roughly 500 people were in attendance. No one called him Tarzan anymore, and only a handful of people referred to him as Bruno. Out of respect, he was Laki Tawang, a man who lost his heart to the jungles of Southeast Asia, only later to lose his life. Flavor Flav. Flavor Flav. Alright, we're gonna ask ChatGPT. Hey, Chat GPT. Hey, what's up? What's the current events and news to talk about? Question mark. What's up, April? Alright, we have, what do we got? Presidential transaction. We got legal proceedings. Jack Terexia, former Air National Guardsman, has been sentenced to 15 years in prison for leaking classified information. Really? What's that about? House there's a panel. Oh, that's dumb. That didn't take me directly to the story. Fudge. International affairs. Middle East conflict. The situation in Gaza remains critical, with the United Nations reporting that approximately 70% of deaths are women and children. Natural disasters. A 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of eastern Cuba, causing significant damage and prompting emergency responses. I heard there was supposed to be a big hurricane. Oh yeah, Bitcoin is going up. That is crazy. Explosion in Kentucky. An explosion at a manufacturing plant in Louisville, Kentucky has injured at least 11 people. Universities across the U.S. are addressing rising anti-Semitism with recent incidents involving wanted posters targeting Jewish faculty members. That's awkward. Inflation. The U.S. inflation rate rose to 2.6 in October following the Federal Reserve's recent interest rate cut. How much did they cut by? Oh, that's dumb. It just says CBS News, but then doesn't actually take you to the direct source or whatever. Corporate developments. Spirit Airlines is reportedly considering filing for bankruptcy amid financial changes. Well, that makes sense, since if you fly with them, you become a spirit because you die. Let's talk about hot molten schmagma. I haven't seen any of that lately. Is that getting hot lately? Sabria, what's up? Am I saying that right? Do I have friends? I do, yeah. Can you believe that? I actually have friends IRL. It's normally it should be illegal, but I make it happen. Hold them at gunpoint. Have you made the move to Blue Sky yet? It's been such a transition for me personally, and now they are growing hand over fist. Blue Sky? What even is that? Yeah, the voices in my head are my Pookie Bears. Stocks are going as well as a whole. That's good. Are you guys doing investing and things of that nature? Alright, we got one more story here. Honestly, we're progressing about normal rate, even though the overall word count is not as much as normal, but I think we're probably going to finish at the normal time. But I am going to take my magnesium real quick, so I'll be right back. Don't touch that dial, talk amongst yourselves, and I shall return. We're so back, baby. Everybody's hitting on Pete. Pete's just like pretty much the hunk of the school. You need a girlfriend, Charlie. Do you really need a girlfriend, though? Maybe you could just think of it like, I'm free. I'm free. And you can just run through the streets and jubilee because you are free. You are free. Oh, what's up, David? How we doing? Welcome back. Oops. Scoops. What time is it there? Question. It is 1 a.m. You need a boyfriend. You know, there is usually a claw machine in every Walmart. And I do hear that if you get the good prize, there's like, what do they call them? Golden retriever boyfriend chilling in there. I wonder why you're never hit on. You're only 29. Yeah, I guess it depends on what you consider hit on. You might have to like go out of your way. Like, I'm not even joking. Like girls often want like guys to just like do and handle every possible thing ever. But like you'll be amazed. Like they'll take over that role as the guy eventually. But I think in the modern sense, like a lot of guys just really need a confidence boost, you know. And if there's a guy you like, if you're the one that goes up to them and gives them a confidence boost, which is sometimes what they need, you know, that their dad never gave them, or their, you know, just experience with the opposite sex just never gave them, you could probably scoop yourself up a nice little nerd, you know what I mean, who doesn't even know he's a catch. And boom shakalaka laka schmaka. There was this girl I thought things were going well, but she kind of has been ignoring me. Yeah, I don't know. I think at this point when it comes to like relationships, it's like the big thing with relationships is it gives you a sense of self-worth, I guess, which is unfortunate, you know, because you want someone that's sort of like even both ways. But we find so much sense of self-worth within those relationships. But I think what we need to be doing is pursuing tasks and interests and hobbies and things of that nature that edify ourselves, because oftentimes if you're like, say your ego is hurt, or like something makes you feel bad, either from the opposite sex or just dating in general, whatever context it might be, if you just go hang out with that next person, or go hang out with friends, or go hang out with family, sometimes you notice that like those sense of insecurities kind of wash away, because you suddenly feel a sense of like belonging or identity with that, like, you know, that group, that individual or whatever. And I think a similar thing occurs because, you know, not all those people will always be there. So I think sometimes you need to find purpose internally, whether that's like pursuing spiritual pursuits, like for your own personal like edification, so you can feel more comfortable in your own skin, maybe communing with like a higher power. Not saying you need to do that, but sometimes people find that with an activity that they might do, whether it's writing or art or whittling. You know, like, did you ever see a grandpa that like they're like 70 some years old, sadly maybe their wife had passed away, and now all they do with their time is whittle wood and make like Native American tiki torches or some shit, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you need to spread yourself out, you need to spread your net wide, so that you're not always like confined to the identity crisis that is the opposite sex, right? To always like feeling like, oh, that person doesn't like me, so all of my eggs were in that basket, so now my worth is like that. You need to whittle some fucking wood and make some friends elsewhere. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but you get the idea. Like, the more, the more shit you do, the less reliant you are going to be on one particular thing. You know what I mean? You need to whittle some wood. Oh yeah, and don't think too much about some biological clock or whatever. I mean, like, just, it's important to stay on top of your health and stay in shape, but more for yourself, and it does help within relationships. Like, obviously people are naturally attracted to someone who's like in a healthier state of things, but I don't think you want to like put some sort of biological clock concept on your back all the time, because it's just going to fill you with a strange sense of like anxiety. I mean, the biological clock might be a thing where people are more, guys might be more attracted to younger women, just due to natural biology or whatever, but don't let it be something that dictates you. But also, I don't know. I don't think it hurts to try and get out there and meet someone at an early age, Get all that shit out of the way or whatever. Doesn't even need to get it out of the way. It makes it sound like it's a big fucking thing, but I don't know. Life is life, really, at the end of the day. And it keeps on trucking by. No matter what narrative we spin or put around it, it's just going to keep moving. So you might as well just make the best of it as best you can. Try to enjoy it. Try to experience it, Try to put yourself in new and different situations, challenging situations, whether it's exercise or other experiences, but it's widowy whatever. Here's a piece of advice. Don't bet at all on the way someone looks. Find out if you like them as a person first. Okay, I'll shut up. No, I'm Hawk. You can say whatever you want, man. Say what. Honestly, anybody can share any of their thoughts or ideas. I don't mind. I mean, and yeah, looks go a long way, but obviously it's like, what's the old saying? It's like, show me a hot girl and I'll show you a guy who's sick of her shit. You know what I mean? And like, the idea behind that goes both ways, in the sense that it's like, you want someone that you can like get along with as a person, obviously, duh. And it doesn't matter how like good looking you are. Like, it can get you a decent ways in life for a little while, but eventually you're going to have to develop a personality and a friendly attitude. I tell people I'm 40, so they compliment how good I look for 32. That's smart, honestly. That's honestly the way to go. Yeah, and don't smoke cigarettes, don't drink booze, unless it's just like sporadic to celebrate something or whatever, because it will save you quite a few years if you're really worried about that kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh, we're back. Am I back? Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I'm back. Sweet. I was worried it was like a full-on disconnect, which then would like reset. That's weird. Can you hear me now? Oh yeah, remember that Can You Hear Me Now guy? What was his name? Can you hear... Honestly, what's the fuck? Might as well just use ChatGPT. It's so fucking nice. The Can You Hear Me Now guy. What's his net worth? Paul Marcarelli, widely recognized as the Can You Hear Me Now guy from Verizon Wireless commercials, has an estimated net worth of $10 million. During his tenure with Verizon from 2002 to 2011, he reportedly earned $2 to $3 million annually. After his contract with Verizon ended, Marcarelli transitioned to Sprint in 2016, further contributing to his net worth. And what is it at now with Sprint? Unless they already said. Okay, so yeah, 10 million total. Well, hey, that's what I'm saying. You never know what you might become out of nowhere. You get some like lucrative deal with like doing commercials, and you become like, well, what's Flo? Do you know Flo from the commercials? From the commercials. I seen her on the TV. Oh, they have pictures of Flo. That's the first time I've ever asked ChatGPT a question. They brought up pictures. ChatGPT is obsessed with Flo. Whenever they take over the world, it's going to be an army of Flows. What is her net worth? Stephanie Courtney, the actress and comedian best known for portraying Flo in Progressive Insurance commercials, is estimated to be net worth of $6 million. She reportedly earns $2 million annually from her role as Flo. What? Dude, Flo deserves way more money than the "Can you hear me now" guy. But I guess maybe she came after. Damn. I mean, I guess that's not a bad annual income for doing literally only commercials. Whenever. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. $6 million is pretty solid, though. Hopefully she's investing in shit. Buying properties and whatnot. Buying Dogecoin. What's up, Justin? How we doing? There's a guy in high school I knew who had a legit fetish for Flo. Perfect, as we all do. You'll never fail if you keep with bros before hoes. That's true. Honestly, like, never let a relationship get in the way of, like, your tight kinships with friends, because it's just stupid. It's just stupid that, like, people can come into each other's lives and just kind of be like, I don't like them as your friend. Get rid of them, or you cannot have sex with me anymore. And then they just use this strange manipulation technique to, like, exclude another person from your life and you've known them for fucking over a decade, but you've met this, like, girl or guy for what, fucking 6 months, and suddenly they can, like, manipulate your emotions and feelings and change you. It's so gross, honestly. And honestly, I hate friends. I've had so many tight friends who just, like, as soon as they get a chick in their life, it's like they're incapable of, like, being friends or hanging out, or they avoid, you know what I mean? I'm like, is pussy really that fucking good that you would just, like, give everything up in your existence to, like, specifically hone in on that only? You don't even need, like, homies to talk about shit about, you know? It's embarrassing, really. I don't get it. And yeah, maybe they are not real friends. They're just like, but it is weird. You learn a lot about your friend's, like, psyche, because it's like, it just seems weak. You come across someone who's just a weak person, or, like, very fickle and lame. And yeah, real partners would want you to be yourself outside. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, because if you're going to be married or whatever, like, I get it. Marriage is, like, that person's going to be your closest confidant for probably the remainder of your life. But a healthy fucking relationship involves, you know, many outlets, not just one individual. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you fucking drive each other bonkers. Your boyfriend's an angel, and no, I don't get in the way of his guy time. Yeah, you know, and it's not just, you know, that's the thing. It's like, it's not even just, like, guy time. It's just, these are friends. These are his, you know, in the same way that I'm sure, I hope, you know, you get girl time or whatever, just friend time. Just, I hope you have an expansive buffet of relationships in your life that you can interact with and converse with, because it's healthy for the human mind to not be honed in on one individual all the time. That one Bo Burnham Vine, you know what's better than pussy? Real good book. Yeah. And it's like, the second you nut, I think, honestly, like, if you're still want to hang out with someone after blowing your load, you should probably just marry them. Blowing your seed. I would not want a man sitting on my... Where'd that come from? Nothing going on for himself. Oh, Sid. Oh, okay. I thought you meant specifically. Jeffrey Bezos. Leah Roberts was born on July 23rd of 1976 in Durham, North Carolina. She was described as a talkative, easygoing young woman with a thick Carolinian accent and a deep love for music. By the age of 23, Leah was living a comfortable existence in Raleigh, North Carolina with her longtime friend and roommate, Nicole. But her young life had been irreparably marred by tragedy. When she was just 17, Leah's father was diagnosed with a long-term respiratory illness. Then, just 3 years later, her mother unexpectedly died of heart disease. Leah took some time off of school to recuperate from the deep and sudden grief, but upon her return in the fall of 1998, she was almost killed in a freak automobile accident. She suffered a punctured lung and shattered femur and needed a metal rod inserted throughout the entire length of the bone. Finally, in 1999, Leah's dying father slipped away during the night. She subsequently withdrew from passes... Wait, what? Yeah, it was kind of funny. Like, I wasn't like a huge Bo Burnham fan a while ago, but then during the COVID time frame, his release then, where it was like an at-home recording, like that was really, really funny, and I had a new sort of appreciation for his comedy. Is it weird if I don't want any physical with guys? No, I mean, there's many people who go through the sort of... Well, I don't really know, honestly, like... But I have heard of people who are like what they would call like asexual, I guess, in that sense. And it also might just be like... Not to be weird, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, some people will just have trust issues or anything like that, or want to deeply trust their partner, and it probably is just like... innately built into some people to sort of like protect themselves from being hurt or whatever, you know, so it makes total sense. What is this saying? She subsequently withdrew from passes again, which gave her time to organize. What's passes? Oh, classes. Sorry. Jeez, I'm dumb. That makes sense. Withdrew from classes. My bad. I had a boyfriend I was with for 5 years, and he was cheating on me with his best friend's baby mom. Oh, I was like, best friend's mom. They would use his friend's house when he was at work. Sucked. Yeah, it's very strange. Like, what's the point of being with someone for 5 years if you're just gonna treat them like that? Like, what's the end goal there? She subsequently withdrew from classes again, which gave her time to help organize her father's upcoming funeral and divide his estate. But it was during this time, and potentially as a result of her grief, that Leah became increasingly interested in philosophy and spirituality. Her passion for the twin topics continued to grow, then despite returning to college in the fall of '99, she spent far more time pursuing. Foolish Rabbit? Who's this? ASMR put me to sleep. I'm trying, dude. How are you doing? I like seeing other content creators. Hey guys, Rabbit here, and hit subscribe. Still here and want more now? Click link below. Straight to the OnlyFans. Oh, nice. Is this Let's Plays? Or no, this is fucking paintball. Airsoft. Oh, hell yeah, dude. From like POV perspective. That's freaking sick. Oh my god. Getting fucking chased around in an airsoft thing by someone with a chainsaw would be so scary. That's awesome. Well, thanks for joining, my friend. Good to see you. Most haunted location. Oh, okay. So that's not always airsoft related. Dude, that would be nuts. Imagine playing like that's no, not weird at all. It's fun. Imagine playing airsoft in like an actual haunted like location, or even if you went well, actually that might be dangerous. But if you went urbexing, like urban exploring, but then played airsoft in the dark of the urban exploration, you could probably end up getting in trouble for that, or cutting your hand on a rusty fucking nail or some shit. But that would be creepy. If you're like sitting trying to camp or something and you hear a fucking somebody tap on your shoulder. Hey. We did an abandoned prison. Oh shit, that's freaking sick. Chat turned into r/relationships. Yeah. Can't imagine what Reddit is telling people. Actually, sometimes Reddit's decent as long as it's not some like creepy echo chamber. I ran off and brought my ghost equipment and said forget the game. Yeah. Gotta lock in and record those voices. It is wild sometimes like what people get in those places, because it's pretty consistently like some sort of anomaly will present itself. Oh yeah, when's do you guys know the game Stalker? I wonder when Stalker 2 comes out. Or I was thinking about airsoft and shooting and anomalies, and I thought of Stalker 2. Her passion for the twin topics continued to grow. Then, despite returning to college in the fall of '99, she spent far more time pursuing her newfound passions than studying for her degree. She kept her grades up and kept the partying to a minimum, but then, just months before she was due to graduate, she dropped out. Her friends and family were flabbergasted, but to Leah, it made perfect sense. She didn't want her degree, she wanted to travel, and if the previous few years had taught her anything, it was never to waste a moment. Yet unfortunately, Leah's newfound sense of wanderlust would ultimately be her undoing. Sorry. Yes, for sure, so hard with ghost content creators if it's real or not. I know, lately it seems it's hard. It's definitely very hard to tell. There was like this one, I forget, we see it on like Bizarre Bub once in a while, but they have this guy who urban explores like Japanese haunted locations. And do you guys remember that one video where like he was sitting at like a desk, like a school desk, and I don't even know, like it was like a big sort of DK mode like head, inflated head sort of like started like coming out from under the table, right? But obviously there's no room for the body, so it's just like peeking out from like a set, 2x2 table of school table. I don't know, that shit was scary as fuck. Exploring with Josh, I think, is about to start doing Asian spots now. That'd be cool. Yeah, there's something about like ghosts in Japan that are just like so much more terrifying. I don't know if it's the history or time, but they seem to always have like some of the most spiteful and evil spirits. Wait, did they cancel the fight with are you talking about Jake Paul and stuff? Oh, it's Friday. Oh shit, what time is it on Friday? Dude, it's so good it's gonna be on Netflix, because like most people have Netflix. I really hope it's not rigged. Like I'm not trying to put down Mike Tyson, but I would not put it past him to come out of retirement for loads of money or whatever, and then throw a fight, right? But honestly, I'm done with the throwing fights. I just want, like, if Jake Paul is actually like a legitimate boxer, well, sure, he trains all the fucking time, like he's gonna be pretty good. But like, I don't know. I want something, I don't know. Basically, like I said, I just want Jake Paul's head turned into a pulp. That would be pretty great. Hey, Allie, what's up? Good to see you. Just running live, I've heard a few words of soothing voice. What's up, Tate? Tate upholstery. It's strange, though. It's strange to, like, it's actually very impressive, though, how the Paul brothers were able to, like, market themselves and transfer, like, controversy to, like, wealth. You know what I mean? Because obviously the vlogging channels have, like, died down, but then the boxing contracts, got, like, millions, right, with the pay-per-view shit. And then obviously with Logan, he, like, does wrestling, and now he does the whole Prime shit, and Not really too sure about the lunchly thing since it looks kind of gross, but... Astaru with the 2 says, appreciate you sincerely and Insomniac. Thank you, Astaru. Hope you're getting some sleepers. Thank you for the 2. Thanks, Remy. Alright, we'll jump back into this here. Yet, unfortunately, Leah's newfound sense of wanderlust would ultimately be her undoing. On March 9th of the year 2000, Leah and her sister Kara shared a lengthy telephone call. They made plans to babysit together the following day and then also agreed to visit the homes of some mutual friends over the days that followed. Yet mysteriously, these were promises that Leah would never honor. That very same evening, she packed some clothes, grabbed her house cat, Bia, and then embarked on a 3,000-mile solo road trip across the United States. The next day, when Leah failed to arrive for their babysitting appointment, Kara simply assumed her sister had changed her mind. Leah was still feeling the loss of her father, so the change of plans caused no offense. It took until March 13th for Kara to realize something was wrong, and when she did, she drove over to her sister's apartment to check on her. Finding the front door unlocked, Kara began to search Leah's apartment, and then upon entering her bedroom, she found a notebook with the words, "Read me," scrawled on the cover. Kara picked it up, opened it, and found a handwritten note along with $3,000 cash, and the note was addressed to her roommate and read as follows: Nicole, this is to cover bills for a while as I'm gone. Remember, everyone is together in thoughts and prayers, and time passes quickly. Have faith in me, yourself. Help Shep with Easter at Lotta House for fun for the children. Give Peter my laptop. Give everyone my love. See you soon. Tell Kara don't worry, even though she will. Leah. P.S. There are ready-to-bake cookies in the freezer. Underneath the main body of text, Leah appeared to have scrolled. You also struggle to stay asleep too with hypersomnia, which sucks. Oh, yeah. Yeah, once I started taking, what was it? I've said it a million times, but I think it's called Gorilla Dream. Such a funny name. It's made with real gorilla, but it has like just micro amounts of melatonin, just enough to like kickstart your own internal, along with like the potassium and some other stuff. And I genuinely, at least if I take it 2 hours before bed, start to kind of pass out. But I do find like having certain routines before bed that you like stick with almost like tricks your body into just like being like, oh, bedtime, okay, night. Yeah, the gorilla tonin. Be sure to take your gorilla shavings in your nighttime smoothie. The stress makes me weirdly blink and time passes, but I don't actually sleep. I wonder if you just like don't have dreams or something, like it's just a REMless or, non-dream deep sleep, where it's like you're unconscious but just not dreaming, maybe, I don't know. Foolish Rabbit with the 5 says, subbed, your voice is literally so soothing and about to pass out. Keep up the great work. Might need you to do some voiceovers. I definitely could. Yeah, hit me up. Instagram or email, let's read submissions at gmail.com. Would be happy to collab anywhere, honestly. I appreciate you. Thank you, dude. Thank you so much. And be safe out there. If you go out to any abandoned places, be sure to wear some equipment so you don't get tetanus. Get a little bit of tetanus. 2 hours, the label says half hour. I don't know. I mean, I usually give it a solid 2 hours because I'm laying in bed scrolling on my phone, doom scrolling, and then eventually, like, once the phone starts to fall out of my hand and hit me in the face, that's when I know I'm good to go. Hey, Rabbit, take care. Have a good night. Thank you again. underneath the main scroll, and then with Jack. Remember Jack Kerouac? Jack Kerouac. Was he a Spanish name? Kerouac. Jack Kerouac. What's up, Paris? How you doing? Crazy anxiety and 99% of my dreams. Yeah, I wonder if you do avoid eating before bed or anything like that. I feel like your advice to us would be don't doom scroll before bed. Yeah, probably. I don't know. They say a lot of stuff, but sometimes it really just comes down to, I've definitely heard, like, make sure your area is nice and cool, like at least like 64 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know if that transfers to Celsius or Kelvin. And then I've heard take a shower before bed. Is that like when you get out, that like if it's cool out, it will drastically reduce your body temperature, so your body will be more inclined to sleep. I hear stretching really, really helps to kind of calm down. Obviously, maybe you could read a book. Read a freaking book. Read the newspaper. And then, of course, at least at the very minimum 3 to 4 hours of, scrolling reels on Instagram, just to make sure you get all your late night comedy in. Don't crochet before going to bed. Yeah, you might wake up in like a web of yarn. Underneath the main body of text, Leah appeared to have scrawled several additional messages. April 23rd, one read, "On the road. No, I'm not sad. I'm the opposite. Remember Jack Kerouac? Tell Nikki I meant to come, but I have no choice." And the second read, "She'll understand." The third edition... Sorry, I thought I was hearing something. Did you guys hear anything? Crocheting for about 4 hours before winding down the night. Hell yeah, dude. It's better, than staring at like blue light bullshit. Doom sharding, yeah. That's scrolling while taking a big old dumper. I don't know, I heard like pot. It was weird. It was like, maybe it was in my ears, but it kind of sounded like Pradeep was throwing up, like, whoop, 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 but it was like in my ears. Or what the hell was it? And then I thought I heard walking above me. Never mind. All right, sorry. I'm getting paranoid. Man. Tell Nikki I meant to come, but I had no choice. The second read, "She'll understand." The third additional message gave a friend permission to stay in her room should she ever visit Raleigh. But quite evidently, it wasn't of nearly as much interest as the first two. One of Leah's favorite authors was Jack Kerouac, and she had a particular love of his work, Dharma Burns. Make sure I said that right. Dharma. Dharma, Dharma, Dharma. An Indian version of the Brady Bunch, I feel like, would be a pretty banging show. Dharma, Dharma, Dharma. Officially schizo, thank you. One of Leah's favorite authors was Jack Kerouac, and she had a particular love of his work, Dharma Burns. According to a close friend, she particularly enjoyed the part where Kerouac spends the summer of 1956 as a fire lookout on Desolation Peak in rural Washington state. Kara, who had been granted power of attorney over Leah, used it to obtain her sister's bank records. They showed that Leah was traveling towards Washington via the southwest and west coast. She was recreating Kerouac's journey. Kara soon discovered that Leah spent the night of March 10th in Lebanon, Tennessee, and then made it to Mother flippin' shit. Your sister does sleep studies in CPAP, sleep apnea. I know more than a... Dude, it's kind of crazy. So I've been using that, Velcro chin strap that keeps your mouth shut so your tongue doesn't, block your airway. And it really has helped me sleep as far as, sleep apnea goes. But whenever I, take it off in the morning and then fall back asleep, dude, getting woken up by that feeling like you're choking from fucking snoring is, the absolute worst feeling ever. It feels like oxygen is being, sucked directly from the veins in my head. A drooler. Yeah, I drool. I remember when I was real young, I'd wake up with pools of drool next to my face. Pretty freaking gross. Kara soon discovered that Leah spent the night of March 10th in Lebanon, Tennessee, then had made it to Brooks, Oregon by March 13th. 9 days later, 2 trail runners jogging in Washington's Whatcom County made a strange discovery as they progressed along a trail. As they ran, they noticed an article of clothing hanging from a tree. A further search uncovered a second piece of clothing before their attention was drawn to a white vehicle, which lay heavily damaged at the bottom of a roadside embankment. The 1993 Jeep Cherokee was sitting along the left side of Canyon Creek Road, a little over 30 miles east of Bellingham. Oh, I shouldn't say it like a Brit there. Bellingham, probably. Bellingham. Do you think it would still, if it was in Oregon, it would still be Bellingham, or just Bellingham? Because it takes place in the United States. I think Oregon, or am I wrong? Washington. Oh, okay. Do you emphasize the ham, or is it like the British where it's Bellingham? Smelly jam. Oh, okay, Jonah. Do you know how to say the Bellingham thing? Oh wait, can you phonetically spell it out? The ham. Okay. Bellingham. Okay, sweet. Thank you. The 1993 Jeep Cherokee was sitting along the left side of Canyon Creek Road, a little over 30 miles east of Bellingham. The exterior was heavily damaged, the windows were shattered, and the front of the Jeep was crumpled, which suggested a violent frontal collision. The ground surrounding the Jeep was strewn with clothing and loose personal belongings, including a guitar, passport, driver's license, checkbook, and several CDs. Several blankets were draped over the car's broken windows, suggesting someone had been using it for shelter from the elements. But when the 2 concerned joggers yelled out for the driver, only silence greeted them. An accident investigator who later arrived at the scene estimated that the Jeep must have been traveling at around 30 to 40 miles per hour to have sustained that level of exterior damage. It also flipped over several times before coming to a rest at a thicket of downed trees, upright and parallel to the road. The investigator went on to state that anyone present at the twerk better throw it back, baby. Ree with the big 30. Says, just came in to hear my second favorite voice for a relaxing moment. I appreciate you, Joel. You're welcome, Ree. Thank you so much. Gracias. How art thou? Do you use any timers or anything with the background? Oh, you're talking to somebody else, sorry. Was that an ad? Did I do an ad? She's making me throw it back. What, I can't enjoy a succulent Chinese meal? The investigator... Fuck. The investigator went on to state that anyone present in the car during such a crash would have been seriously injured, if not killed. Yet detectives were unable to find any evidence that someone was inside the car at the time of the crash. There were no traces of hair or blood, the seatbelt was not strained, and there was no damage consistent with someone hitting their head against the wheel or windshield. For all intent and purpose, it was as if the driver had simply evaporated while at the wheel of their car. Having been reported missing several days earlier, it was soon discovered that the owner of the Jeep had been none other than Leah Roberts. Security camera footage from a gas station back in Brooks showed her peering out of the window as a clerk rang her up, as if concerned that she was being followed. But the veracity of this theory has never been established. In the days that followed the Jeep's discovery, 2 search and rescue teams combed the area around it using dogs and a helicopter, but unfortunately they found no trace of Leah or her missing house cat. Search and rescue experts strongly doubted that Leah had wandered off and perished in the woods, just because of that. Allison with the 5 says, please say hi to Pradeep for me. Also, do you have a favorite conspiracy theory? Yeah. Hello, Pradeep. Probably WTC 7. Probably the strongest one to bring that into question, I would say, along with all the other interesting things that occurred on that day. I don't know. What are some other good conspiracies, honestly? What are your guys' favorite ones? Waiting for another great burb from Joel, just like the one moment after I joined the chat. That was only just to celebrate your entrance. The Denver airport. Yeah, what is the deal with the Denver airport? It has like tunnels under it with an entire underground society, or what's the deal? I remember, does that correlate, the Denver airport correlate to the deep underground military bunker stuff they talk about? We all died during 2020 and this is hell. Well, not much different, huh? The demon horse statue. Paris. What about Paris? Blue Satan. Yeah, but what is the point? Is it just because politicians are being bred? Dude, that's a good one, honestly. Like, you hear about the World Economic Forum and like all of the world leaders that were like groomed from the time that they were young to like fulfill certain political expectations from them. Who exactly that would be, I don't know. They're being bred currently. They're submissive and breedable. Burger King foot fungo. All your favorite conspiracies suck because there are people who got killed to stop inventions that would have destabilized the oil industry. Cars that run on water and free electricity. Yeah, like the ionosphere stuff, like pulling out energy from the ionosphere, what they call like infinite energy or free energy. And then yeah, the cars running on like H2O. Level 7? Oh, I've never heard of Level 7. The Ark of the Covenant could have some ancient power technology. Yeah, I guess like people like that. I am curious about that because it's like if he was on fucking, meth the whole time, who knows what his like paranoid brain was like coming up with to like pursue next. And if you're in like a position of like dictator level power, of course you're going to be able to like mobilize a team of people to go look for Hellboy. You know what I mean? And who knows, maybe they found Hellboy and it actually worked, but it's quite hard to say. Conspiracies are just spoiler alerts. That's a good point too. It is frustrating sometimes to think that, even though I'm sure there's a lot of like different power players all competing with each other all at one time, at least I would hope so, it is frustrating sometimes that they all sort of seemingly work in conjunction to serve each other, but sort of just like move us along as, I don't know. I don't even know if I should complain sometimes, because I'm like, compared to life in the past, the fact that we can communicate here and I can make money off of just using my voice, a little bit strange. There's no porn of the sleepy time bear. Let's talk about that. Listen, if Rule 34 is a constant, it's got to be out there. Thinking about YouTube's BS moderation system, because why are brain altering from Tuesday got flagged over the thumbnail? I don't even know if it was the thumbnail that got flagged. I think, I know that I don't know that that was exactly it, but I don't know if it played into the reinforcement against the appeal. But I changed it anyways, because it was like, why was that even in there in the first place? But, yeah, it was like something to do with the priest saying that that he might hurt somebody or himself in that story, and somehow that gets flagged, which was just so minuscule, but to like completely negate a video's chance to be monetized and reach anything, I almost like wondered if it was like nefariously reported or some shit like that, but I think I might just be overthinking it. My voice is money. I don't know, it's so strange in real life. Nobody really gives a shit about my voice. It's like, maybe they just think it's weird if they were to say anything. YouTube has been flagging other YouTubers even if they give warnings. I mean, the dumb part is that like you get flagged for that kind of stuff, but leading up to that, there was no issue, right? Like prior to that video being released, it was scheduled, and it was fully monetized. And then why, after the video, like a few hours into it, does it get flagged then? And by whomst has flagged it? And it just like pisses me off, because I'm like, fuck you to whoever went out of their way to do that, because it's scary to like just, I don't know. Maybe we got some enemies out there, who knows. Bigfoot sightings are just hairy nudists running wild. I hope so. The lizard temple under Los Angeles and the 100 miles of tunnels. Who knows, dude? There's probably crazy shit that will just like never, I don't know. It does seem like things are starting to crack a little bit though, both with like the whole Epstein thing and the Diddy thing, but there is a part of me that there's one very strong thing that people in positions of power above us rely on as a constant, as an ever-present constant, and that is our, as a public, ability to forget things and forget them very quickly. Because like, we'll sit there and talk about Diddy and all that kind of shit hardcore for a couple weeks, right? But we get bored, it's just blood sport for us for the most part. Like we enjoy it mainly for the entertainment value, because what are we going to do? You're going to find out Diddy's doing some freak shit. You're going to go out of your way to go fucking put Ellen DeGeneres in jail or something? Is that what you're going to do? Nobody's going to do that. We're all fucking like non-threats to like anybody that genuinely has any sway. And I think that's one of the weirder and sadder aspects of us, is yeah, our memories are maybe worse than goldfish, to be honest with you. Your supervisor got flagged for letting us out early, and they told her who did it. Yeah, I don't know. People are snitches, man. There was like some YouTuber. I don't know if you saw this like recently. There was like some guy, this guy named Marquis Brownlee or something. I forget what his name is, but he does like tech videos, right? And it's kind of like Linus Tech Tips, except like maybe a little bit more sleek and whatever. But like he recently got in some hot water for like doing. Now, granted, he was doing like 93 miles through like a school zone or whatever, but it's like nobody got hurt. And he didn't get arrested. I don't even know if it was like a busy time frame in which you do it, which I'm not like advocating for it, but just like how like no life some individuals online are to like go out of their way, I don't know, to like do their like typical 2 minutes hate, their typical like 2 minutes shame. It's just cringe, man. It's like there's a lot of things there to get like upset about, especially within like the content creator thing, but it's always sad when someone gets picked up in like a very like slow news cycle, and those people who just genuinely don't even care if you apologize, don't even care about anything other than just like essentially being boring, and they jump on characters like that because what the fuck else are they going to do with their life? Their shit is so boring that they're just like, he was speeding, officer, that guy over there, he was going really fast, he didn't have a helmet on. Ooh. Granted, he may have like obliterated a 5-year-old who was crossing with a wearing like a Paddington Bear jacket or something, but I don't know. Just cringy. It is like, I get it. It is a bad take per se in the objective sense, but it's like, holy shit. Like, why is everyone online just like this ever-present fucking like hall monitor of activity? Like just if like the people that they're not even going to watch his shit anyways. So why the fuck are they going out of their way to like shame them for going fast in a car in a place that you're not supposed to go 1 trillion miles an hour in? It's just, I don't know, just like that sort of like mental gymnastics that people go through. Like they spend emotional energy thinking about stuff that just is completely pointless to their existence. It's weird. Allison with the 5 says, Joe, you have no idea. I'm a 911 dispatcher and someone called to report leaves in the road. Someone called to report leaves in the roadway the other day. Yeah, I mean, those are the people making fucking posts on Reddit and Twitter about this shit. Honestly. I mean, granted, once again, not smart to be doing that kind of shit, but even like weirder, oddly, to me, to be the internet snitches. It's just like, I don't know. Whatever. And once again, everyone forgets. Everyone forgets in 3 minutes. No one's going to be thinking about, you guys remember 5 years ago when that jerk of a YouTuber who reviews Samsung phones went really fast in his McLaren? What the hell? What the hell? He's going fast in a sport car? I expected more from him. I expected he'd be playing Angry Birds and not going outside like me. Just like me. Why doesn't he eat pizza and sit and do nothing like me? Why? Sorry. Going full boomer mode here, but shit's just stitches, snitches, get star-bellied sneeches. You get the idea. Search and rescue experts strongly doubted that Leah had wandered off and perished in the woods. Not just because that the car was so close to the road, but because she had been in a state of moderate to severe injury following the crash. They too cited the lack of blood or seatbelt strain, with one official even theorizing that Leah had deliberately crashed the vehicle while not at the wheel in order to use it as a makeshift shelter. To him, that was the scariest scenario of all because, quite rightly, it suggested that she wasn't in her right mind. It doesn't surprise me that she would go off and try to find herself, Leah's brother Heath said in the days following her disappearance. Are we too interconnected? Maybe. Disappearance. I assume not displacement, disappearance, right? Yeah. Jack Doherty almost killed himself last week. Yeah, it seems like people were like less upset at him than like Marquis, or I feel bad in saying his name wrong, and I don't know how to say it, Marquise. Like, mainly just because I've noticed like there's this strange sort of mental behavior with humans where they don't really care what you do as long as you are consistent in the behavior. So you can be an asshole as long as you are consistently an asshole, because it doesn't surprise them, and eventually they don't have the energy to like, you know, really follow up with it or make a stink about it. But as soon as you're like a perfect gem to everyone for a long period of time, and then there's a sort of mild freckle found upon your record, it's like that seems to be the thing that like sends people into a tizzy the most. It's, I don't know, it's kind of depressing, honestly. You're disrupting their narrative, yeah. It's so stupid. Like, he's supposed to be a robot. He's supposed to be the robot from iRobot that just jerks me off and I can go to bed in my slop. Lay me down in bed in my slop and let me exist with a little baba in my mouth. Come on. Everything in the world is perfect. One day we will exist in utopia, and humanity isn't necessarily at a peak. It's simply going through a rough patch till we finally reach perfection. Angels will sing their trumpets to alert the gods that humanity is absolutely pristine. I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's just, I don't know. Fuck them. Fuck internet people. Not you guys. You guys are perfect. You guys are the ones, the chosen ones. Guys, we're in a cult. You are. Welcome. It's hard, yeah. It's hard being, listen. It's hard to be perfect like Peter. It doesn't surprise me that she would go off and try to find herself. Leah's brother Heath... Oh, fuck. Sorry. Dude, Heath. Nice. You don't see Heath too often. We're number one. We're number one. Can we get a USA chant in chat? Can you guys just blindly start chanting USA? If there's ever anyone that disrupts the chat, just start chanting USA and I think they'll get the idea. It doesn't surprise me that she would go off and try to find herself. Leah's brother Heath said, oh my god, I suck. USA! 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 That's what Joe Rogan should have did whenever his like stand-up comedy thing was bombing. He should have just started like a 45-minute USA chant. That would have been so much funnier than his shit. And I honestly would be down with it. I would go get a bottle of water and just get prepared to mindlessly scream my patriotism. Turkey leg, John Jones, fuck yeah. Obama, fuck yeah. Oi, oi, oi. It doesn't surprise me that she would go off and try to find herself, Leah's brother Heath said, in the days following her disappearance. I was concerned about her, but I wasn't very worried until we got the phone call that they had found her car. A thorough search of the Jeep found $2,500 tucked in a pair of jeans, along with a wooden ornate box containing a ticket for a 2:10 p.m. showing of the movie American Beauty, which took place at the Bellis Fair Mall on the day that she arrived in Oregon. Yet what was of most concern to Leah's family and friends was the discovery of her mother's engagement ring, which appeared to have been abandoned along with her Jeep. Those clues to Leah knew that the ring... Those clues. Jeez. Blues Clues. They should make a Team America World Police 2. Did they make a sequel to that? Or no? They did not. Damn it. Damn it to hell. They would never do puppets again. Oh, that's fair, yeah. With all the stop motion and shit like that. Hey, Chels, thank you. Love you too. Good to see you. Excuse me. Those close to Leah knew that ring was... Man, my brain is like not able to like put words together right now. Hey, what's up, Terry? Those close to Leah knew that ring was her most precious earthly possession, the one thing she treasured over all others. If she believed that she was leaving her Jeep, never to return, those close to her had absolutely... Man, I think my brain is like out of juice. If she believed that she was leaving her Jeep, never to return, those close to her had absolutely no doubt that Leah would have taken it with her. Its presence in the Jeep suggested Leah had every intention of returning to collect it, in which case, what prevented her from doing so? As Washington-based law enforcement agencies put out appeals for public information, several very credible sightings were reported. An unidentified man informed detectives that he and his wife had met a young woman matching Leah's description at a gas station in Everett, about 70 miles south of Bellingham. The man went on to state that the woman seemed severely disoriented, and made the rather alarming declaration that she didn't know who she was or where she lived. Naturally, detectives believed the man was trying to be of some help and began asking him additional questions regarding the bizarre encounter. However, after exhibiting an inability to answer their questions, the man hung up on the detectives and they were unable to re-establish contact due to the nature of their anonymous tip line. This is perhaps the most frustrating aspect of Leah's missing persons case. The detectives might well have spoken to someone with intimate knowledge of her whereabouts, but who might have deliberately... Best puppeteer, Jeff Dunham, hands down. Hands down, best puppeteer in America, not Jeff Hansen, or whatever that guy's name is, who made Kermit and the Fern Gullies. I'm talking fucking Jeff motherfucking Dunham. Shots, 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 USA shots. Dude, that's what, honestly, USA shots would be the best shots, because it would be like 3 shots in front of you. One's red, one's white, one's blue. What would those drinks be? You would take 3 shots in succession, and then at the end you go, USA, USA. Or no, maybe you would scream USA prior to taking the shots. Oh man, so many options on how to get drunk. It's crazy. No, you drink 13 shots from the original colony. It's true. Do it. This is for Betsy Ross. This is for Betsy Ross. Fuck yeah. Coolest, most original flag. Award goes to Betsy. Earlier, you should not drink. No, don't. Actually, that's a good point. Don't do that. What the hell are you talking about? Don't do a USA thing where there's a red and a vodka and a blue shot. Ew. Like, especially if you have kids and a family, like, right next to you and you're the only one doing it, and you lit the vodka one on fire and now it fell onto your mouth and chest and you're in a bit of a blaze. Like, don't waste your time. But what would Betsy Ross do? Jim Henson did make the Fern Gullies. I don't have confirmation for that, but I think the story after this is about someone who went missing in Fern Gully Manor, or wherever they live. Caves. Honestly, that might be the explanation for all the missing 411 people. They're down there with the Ferngullies, doing who knows what. The detectives might well have spoken to someone with intimate knowledge of her whereabouts, but who might have been deliberately trying to deceive them. On March 21st of the year 2000, Leah's two siblings, Heath and Kara, drove over to Washington State to help search for her. Their first port of call was the Bellis Fair Mall, the place Leah had caught a screening of American Beauty in the hopes that someone there might recognize her. No one from the theater remembered her face, but in a restaurant called Elephant and Castle, employees said they'd spotted Leah at the bar on March 13th, happily chatting with other patrons. The day after Heath and Kara returned to North Carolina, one of the men who spoke to Leah at the restaurant heard the news about her disappearance and reached out to detectives. Damn it, I talk like a freaking idiot. Chels, take care. Hope you have a great day tomorrow. Thank you. Oh, what's up, Mira? How we doing? Are you talking about Fraggle Rock? Honestly, I think they're part of the same subspecies of Muppet. Hey, Sarah. Thanks, Lauren. Do people read newspapers anymore? I hope so, man. Like, how else are you supposed to, line your bird cage and start a fire out back with your Amazon boxes? Like, what are you supposed to use? There's no kindling. The day after Heath and Kara returned to North Carolina, one of the men who spoke to Leah at the restaurant heard the news about her disappearance and reached out to detectives. The man, who has never been publicly named, described her as very friendly and talkative, but that ultimately he'd watched her leave the restaurant alone. Missing person detectives later tracked down another of the bar's patrons who also described Leah as being warm and friendly. He also recalled conversing with her regarding Jack Kerouac, and how he tied into her reasons for visiting Washington State. However, contrary to what the first witness said, the second patron claimed Leah left the restaurant with a man she'd referred to as Barry. The man then gave such a detailed description of Barry that authorities arranged for him to meet with a sketch artist, who created a composite drawing of the case's primary person of interest. However, detectives were never... You like crosswords? Do you cheat? Do you cheat on the crosswords? Henson did The Dark Crystal, best movie with the Gafflings. That was a good one. And didn't they do a follow-up to it on Netflix or something? I just remember that one character would just constantly be like, and just make this weird, stupid, sound the whole fucking time. Like, oh my god. Shut the frick up. However, detectives were never able to verify that Barry ever existed, and found it deeply suspicious that the story of the bar's second patron directly contradicted that of the first. When pressed about the inconsistencies between the two stories, the behavior of the second patron became very odd, enough that investigators began to wonder if Barry was simply a fabrication designed to mislead them. After searching Leah's car, detectives asked Kara what she wanted them to do with the vehicle. She told them to keep it, hoping that technological advances might yield more evidence in the future. In 2006, her decision paid off. When detectives Jamie Collins and Alan Smith reviewed the case file, they realized that the Jeep had not been searched as thoroughly as they previously thought. Although the interior was processed for blood, hair, and fibers, no one had thought to explore underneath the hood of the car for any evidence. When they opened up the hood, they found that the cover had been removed from the starter relay, and without the cover, someone could turn the ignition on and simply push on the starter relay, which would allow the Jeep to accelerate into the embankment on its own without anyone inside the vehicle. They also found unidentified fingerprints under the hood of the car. It appeared as though the Jeep had been tampered with, and that it would have taken someone with the knowledge of a mechanic in order to do that level of tampering to the vehicle, said Detective Smith, knowing all too well that his conclusion opened up terrifying new dimensions in the case. There was one person of interest who had such an experience, and... oops. Oh, the Skeksis, yeah. What is it? I need you guys to hear this. The Skeksis are so annoying. They're interesting. I do like the world of the Skeks. Skeksis, Dark Crystal. Hell yeah, dude.
Roast snapper, my favorite. I want the rare.
So the Skeksis are like a royalty. Oh, this is some ASMR Skeksis. Oh, wait. Is this the most recent one? Oh, come on.
You slime face.
Was it just the one Skeksis that made the noise? Ew, I don't want to watch them finish all their ramen noodles. Alright, we're going back real quick. Death of the Skeksis Emperor. Wait. Skeksis explains why it's okay to be cruel. Perfect. Wait. No, that's not right. Dark Crystal 1982 official trailer. You know what? Whatever. Though I do really appreciate fucking like dark fantasy shit like this. I don't know if you've seen all the AI trailers for dark fantasy stuff, but it's crazy. Hey, Yamana. We'll see you later. Have a good night. Oh yeah, Chamberlain. Oh my god. Did you get your Gummy Bear album? What was that? Gummy Bear album. I don't recall. What did I mention that? The sugar-free ones? Amaranth ear licking. I feel so bad for Amaranth getting her whole ass YouTube channel completely just removed out of nowhere. Amaranth. That's crazy. Oh, thankfully her daily clips is still up, so we have options, guys. But I don't know, it's just interesting. Like, thank God Twitch is full of a bunch of like weird simps that run the website and are perverted. Otherwise, she might not have a gosh dang career. She'd just own a freaking gas station and that'd be it. And probably all of her other properties and investments. Was the background sound playing at all this whole time? I feel like I hadn't heard it at all. Or maybe I just like blacked it out in my head. Okay. Let's go. Oh, we're getting close. We're almost done. Yeah, we're actually very close to being done. Alright. There was one person of interest who had such an Oh my god, and Pradeep's about to take a huge shit. Oh my god. You know what? Thank for chat GDP. Okay. Is there any interesting gaming news recently? Haha. While Pradeep takes a shit, we'll talk about video games. Alright. Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, the definitive edition update. Jesus Christ, as if we didn't need like every possible remaster under the sun. Rockstar Games has released a significant update for the PC version of the Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, the definitive edition. This update addresses previous criticisms by enhancing graphics, fixing bugs, and improving character animations. Notably, it introduces a classic lighting mode for more vibrant visuals. These improvements were initially rolled out on Netflix's gaming platform in 2023. What? Netflix has a gaming platform and has now been extended to PC players. Have you guys heard about this? It's so funny every time, like, so Pradeep's in there taking a shit, right? And he comes like, it's just so funny. He comes out and like looks at me like he just committed a crime, and he's making sure I didn't see him bury the body, aka the poop. He goes in like 2 waves. He's back in there again. I don't know what it is. Maybe, I guess you guys said before he like takes a piss and then takes a poop. Microsoft's handheld console development. Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, has confirmed that Microsoft is developing a handheld gaming console. While still in the search and development phase, this move aligns with the growing popularity of portable gaming devices like the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation's PS Portal. However, gamers will need to wait, as the console is expected to take several years before release. I heard that they were talking about eventually making, like, you not even needing hardware, like you would just be streaming games directly to your systems, which could be a little lame, but also if it's like very seamless, would be freaking sick to not have to worry about that. But then they would probably start increasing the cost of games, maybe, but maybe not. Maybe it would actually decrease the games. Top video games of 2024. Pocket, a nostalgic experience reminiscent of Pokemon trading card games. Oh, interesting. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, blah blah blah. Batman Arkham Shadow, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. What's Arkham's Shadow? I didn't even know about that. Astrobot. I heard Astrobot was actually really sick for the PS5. Like a, basically just Mario, but PlayStation. Black Myth Wukong. Senseless Zone Zero delights with anime-inspired action. Oh, it delights with... Okay. I haven't heard of that. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, engages deeply with themes of mental health. Interesting. Not heard of that one either. You keep hearing about Mouthwash. Is that a video game? I've never heard of it. You're so gross. You need to get your life together at 2 a.m. Honestly, better time than any. Retro gaming console discount for fans of classic games. The Kinhank Super Console X2 Pro Retro Gaming Emulator is currently available at a discounted price of $100, down from $160, pre-installed with thousands of retro games. Did I heard that there was going to be like a I don't know, a big crackdown on like emulators, of course, because Nintendo literally has nothing else to do but just sue the fuck out of everyone. Amazon Mass Effect TV series announcement. Following the success of its Fallout adaptation, Amazon has announced plans to develop a TV series based on BioWare's Mass Effect franchise. The project will be led by screenwriter Daniel Casey, with BioWare's Michael Gamble serving as an executive producer. While the series is in its early stages, it reflects the growing trend of adapting video game narratives to television. The question is, what else has Daniel Casey screenwrote? The Death of Michael Smith, 2006, Kin, 2018, and F9. Huh. Pretty unknown person, it seems like, right? 1981, or, well, F9. Okay, Kin. He co-wrote a screenplay for a science fiction film which features a young boy who discovers a mysterious weapon. F9, 2021. Casey co-wrote the screenplay for the 9th installment of the Fast and Furious franchise, contributing to the film's high-octane action sequence and character development. Interesting. So he's got experience in, like, action. I don't remember hearing about Kin. And then what is Death of Michael Smith, 2006? Casey wrote and directed this independent film, which received a special jury award at the Slam Dance Film Festival. We'll see. I mean, that's not like a crazy record, but sometimes, like, seeing a relatively unknown screenplay person kind of come out of nowhere, it could be exactly what's needed for Mass Effect. BioShock would be a cooler show. I'm fairly certain they're doing that too. Kin was a good movie, thank God. Well, then I have a little bit of hope for the Mass Effect series. I just hope whoever the fuck wrote Dragon Age Veilguard does not get their hands on the new fucking Mass Effect game. Now, granted, the previous ones weren't that great either, but I'm just so fucking sick of the bullshit. There was one person of interest who had such an experience. The man who said he watched Leah leave with Barry. This man, who had relocated to Canada by the time of the investigation, had previously served in the military and had extensive experience as an auto mechanic. It took 2 years to obtain fingerprints from Canadian authorities, but when they finally got them, they were disappointed to learn that there was no match. Then, in the spring of 2010, authorities obtained a DNA sample from an undisclosed item in Leah's car. They were in the process of comparing that DNA to the person of interest in 2011, but the results of this test are unknown, as to date there have been no public updates in the case. Leah's missing posters, which once plastered the state of Washington, are now weathered and tattered. Her smile now a whispered story of laughter and love. The search is over, but for those who knew Leah best, hope remains a fragile flame dance. Would it be a flame dance or flaming dance? You guys decide. Chat. BBC. Question. Does this sound right? A fragile flames dance. Oh, okay. Yes, that sounds beautifully written. It captures a poignant sense of lingering hope and loss. The phrase, hope remains a fragile flame dancing. Oh, the search is over with those who knew Leah best. Hope remains a fragile flame. Oh, a fragile flame dancing. Okay, my bad. I read that wrong. So that does make sense. Okay. A fragile flame dance. a flamps. The search is over, but for those who knew Leah best, hope remains a fragile flame, dancing in the heart's quiet corner, refusing to be extinguished, because somewhere out there beyond the end is a silent promise that they'd never give up. Okay. Why am I still awake? Honestly, this is pretty normal. And I am the dark. The search is over, but for those who knew Leah best, hope remains a fragile flame, dancing in the heart's quiet corner, refusing to be extinguished. Because somewhere, out there beyond the reach of answers, I gotta get this right. I gotta get this absolutely flippin' divin' right. The search is over, but for those who knew Leah best, hope remains a fragile flame dancing in the heart's quiet corner, refusing to be extinguished. Because somewhere out there, beyond the reach of answers, was the silent promise that they'd never give up hope, of bringing Leah home. That doesn't... Because somewhere out there, beyond the reach of answers, was the silent promise that they'd never give up hope of bringing Leah home alive. Perfect. Oh, man. Also, I was thinking it'd be funny if, like, at the end of the video I did the Wilhelm scream as, like, the remember part. I don't really know. I mean, I guess I could download that off YouTube. Oh my god, Pradeep's about to take off with the zoomy attacks. Alright, Google Docs. Let's read this outro. You guys think of something funny to say? I did do it. When in the universe are we going to see my pretty face? I don't know, honestly. Probably when they arrest me for being a terrorist. No, I'm just kidding. Local terrorist, local Al-Qaeda member. Let's read Joel. Joel read. Joel, let's read Migglesworth. I don't know. That'd be such a funny last name to Joel, let's read Biden. You find out I'm part of the Biden family and I'm a terrorist. Like, fuck. Joel, let's read Will Smith's only son, Joel, is a terrorist. I'm like, what about the other people? Not a real son. Adopted. Well, Will Smith's cutest son. Yeah. Joel, let's read Rockefeller. Played with fireworks and is now a terrorist. Inside of a post office. What's one franchise you think should end? Don't say Fast and Furious. Don't say the one I like. They'd be good if they want back to street racing or maybe a show instead. Fuck. I mean, The Walking Dead's done, right? We're out of that. They killed all the zombies. That would be really funny if at the end of the show they just like killed one zombie and it was like that. We're like, oh, that was it. Every zombie's dead. We're good. We're in the clear. All right, guys, we can start having orgies and sex. We need to repopulate everything now. That's the next season of the show. It's porn. 4 spin-offs. Seed. I can't say seed. Google Howie Scream. It's the one you want. Oh, really? I thought it was the Wilhelm. There's a really funny Wilhelm scream in the movie Dante's Peak. It's just like a super serious scene, and then they just add a Wilhelm scream, and it just completely kills the vibe. All right. Young Sheldon. Young Sheldon was shot outside of a Miami club this weekend. Dude, Pradeep is digging for fucking seashells in there, bro. You hear this crap? Jesus, he's in a fight. His poop is trying to grab him, pull him in. There's like a quicksand monster in there for his litter. He's fighting for his life. Hey, Kyle. Thank you, dude. Yeah, Yuffie and Pradeep have synced up poops and periods. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. I release new videos every Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m. EST, and there are super fun live streams on Sundays and Wednesday nights. If you got a story, be sure to submit them over at my email, letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com, and you might even hear your story featured in the next video. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations and bonus content over on Patreon, or click that big join button to hear about the extra perks for members of the channel. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all of these stories in big compilations located anywhere you listen to podcasts. All links in the description below. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, you can hear Pradeep taking a shit in the background. God, it's the ammonia that or whatever the fuck comes out of it. It's like far away, but it's like I can just smell it in the air. It's so gross. Well, guys, thanks for chilling. Skibbity toilet. I will see you guys, I guess, again. Well, first we'll get this up and edited over on Patreon. It's only $1 a month over there for early access, $10 for the whole year, which is crazy. But I will get this up and edited for tonight's video here on the Thursday, 9 p.m. EST YouTube release. There's a new podcast out as well. If you want to listen to the stuff in podcast format, Let's Read Podcast over wherever you listen to podcasts. And then, yeah, I'll be back streaming either Saturday or Sunday. Might do a game night, I guess. Well, going to dinner Saturday. Alright, yeah. I'll let you know, I guess. Well, I won't let you know, but set your notification bell just in case it goes off. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great, safe weekend. Get some sleep, get some rest, get some exercise, get some sun. Live happy. Don't be like Reddit. And yeah, see you again soon. Bye-bye.